pleasure. Oh, my city, she never sleeps. My city, she never weeps. My city, she keeps me alive. Give it up for my city, oh, oh. Give it up for my city, oh, oh. Give it up for my city, oh, oh, oh. Give it where do you go when your heart's with a fever? Won't you screw, but you won't leave her. Oh, here we are, all the freaks and believers, all the sweet neon dreamers. Oh, my city. She never sleeps, my city. She never weeps, my city. She keeps me alive. Give it up for my city, oh, oh. Give it up for my city, oh, oh. Give it up for my city, oh, oh, oh. Give it
What's the story, Raw fans? Tonight's topics on the Wrestle Story include
The Fiend strikes again.
24/7 7-Eleven I-95 Championship changes hands a million times.
And no more Mrs. Nice Natty.
All that and more coming up. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Wrestle Story, where we discuss all things wrestling, the legends of the past, the superstars of the present, and the trailblazers of the future. We stream every Monday after Raw, every Tuesday after SmackDown, and every Wednesday after NXT, and after every pay-per-view.
Tonight,
Hello, Becky's number one fan.
James, what's up? Tonight was the Raw reunion show. So,
Nah,
yes, it was kind of a mess show
nah.
for a regular show during the week. Now, because it was a reunion show, I wasn't expecting anything too crazy. But compared to the other reunion shows, I thought this was pretty good. Comparing it to the other reunion shows, mind you. Not regular weekly programming.
This...
There was a lot that wasn't done. Shane, what's up?
Hey, Shane.
Yeah, that was a little disappointing too, was that there were no women's matches. But I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll get into it. Cause like I said, for a reunion show, I thought it was decent.
Here's my thoughts. If they're gonna have a reunion show,
Reunion.
They got a reunion show. A reunion show, just like have a special.
I could see, yes.
I mean, this was like pointless.
If
you're trying to boost Raw ratings,
I think putting people out there and saying, you know,
yes, definitely.
I know. I was really, really shocked about that. I guess it's better than Raw 25. I mean, you're not wrong. So, but I think part of the draw here is the fact that you have big names that you're putting out there: Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, DX. Like, they're not on regular TV during the week. And so people are going to come just to see them for, you know, a once-in-a-lifetime thing because they don't know the next time that they'll be on. So I understand trying to draw people in for this one, you know, limited time event.
Why have it?
And then, I mean, you know, I get it. You're going to get a lot of people there. But storyline-wise and looking at it for furthering things along for the next pay-per-view, it didn't really do much. So, anyone notice if USA Network tells WWE to do something WWE? I mean, yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like, they sprung this on us last week, that we were getting this reunion show. Like, last weekend.
Well,
They were like, oh, 1 week from tomorrow, we're getting a
Again,
reunion show. And I was like, what?
and
What is a reunion show?
I think they could have done a lot better with this than what they did.
I definitely agree. So, with that being said, we'll get right into the beginning of the show. And it opens with Cena. John Cena comes out, which was
And the
Shane.
wild card.
Shane. We're gonna talk about that too, because I just have some questions and concerns, and some things I wanna. Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
Just got to see Becky grace us with her presence in the ring. Out there, Becky got new merch. Becky up.
I was gonna say I figured with the whole new Becky Up
WWE ran it
campaign,
down.
they were gonna make
Yeah.
some new merch.
I
I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know what it looks like, but I'll probably look it up when we're done here.
The problem is, what were they gonna do?
I don't know.
I mean, the whole show is kind of,
I really don't know.
yeah. I think him coming out as a doctor
He
would've
should
been a lot better.
have. I think that would have been better. He got a big pop though, and then he made some comment about, you guys, this is so difficult because you boo me when I'm here all the time, but then when I show up once in a while, y'all are like, whoa, John Cena! Like, guys, come
Yeah,
on.
too short a notice, definitely.
So, Cena shows up. He wasn't listed as being at the show, so that was pretty cool to see him. Then he gives a heartfelt speech about being back, and I miss this. This is my home. Everybody here, like they're my brothers and sisters, and this is great. And then the Usos come out, and they essentially they're like Cena. Drop some rhymes with us. How about you just do it? Like, now.
Roman needs a push.
They bust. They I agree with that. Wait. Let me think about that. I think they need to. Okay. So I agree with that statement, but I also, yeah, that's what I think they need to do. Is I think they need to turn him heel in that sense of giving him a push that way,
I think one of the problems with
and not keep him as a babyface.
okay, but
anymore.
here's one of the problems with WWE right now. They keep pushing the same people
That's the other thing.
over and
I
over.
really am starting to get tired of Roman because I feel like they're shoving him down our throats, but not shoving him down our throats. Not like shoving him down our throats like they did before when they put the belt on him and nobody wanted to see that. Not that type of shoving him down our throats, but in a sense they still are. Because he's on TV every week. And like the whole leukemia comeback story and everything is just kind of, I hate to say it's getting old, but it kind of is. You know what I'm saying? Where they keep bringing it up.
Yeah.
Like, I think they just need to do something different with him. Because it's not keeping my interest anymore, like it was. That was, like, great when he first came back. And for the first couple months while he was back.
Yeah.
To keep going back to that. But we can't keep going back to that for the rest of his career. You know what I mean? It can be something that we mention, but it doesn't need to be like, the main focus.
Well, I don't know. They just need to, like, change some things up.
I think he needs to turn heel. That's what I think. I think he needs, like, a big heel
Well,
turn.
probably,
and-
but, I mean, who's heel and who isn't in WWE?
I don't know, but I swear,
I mean, what's a heel?
the WWE Championship right now is going to go back on him when they move to Fox. And it just is. And I'm not going to be super happy about that. But, I just don't. Honestly, we can't have a nice thing. WWE builds stars. Please, then we complain. Oh, this guy again. I mean, yeah, but
But if they throw Joe in there with someone, like, I don't know, right? If they threw him in with Brock Lesnar right now.
oh my
He's-
gosh, Scott, you're 100% right. Ladies and gentlemen, we made it through a Raw without Shane McMahon. Oh
Yes, we did.
my gosh.
we did.
You were right. I kind of wanted to see Shane come out just so then we could get Kevin to come out, just so then we could get Stone Cold to come out, and then they could all just stun each other.
The problem I have with Joe being a heel right now is the fact that, heels win.
Heels,
And
he has
and Joe
lost
Joe has won
like
what,
once.
one match
He
in the
won
last
week
3 months.
against Finn Balor, and that was kind of a fluke match.
I mean, if you're gonna make a heel, have him, do
Like,
some heel type things.
It makes
Like,
absolutely
attack
no
people
sense.
in the back or something like that.
Photo shoot on WWE Network after Raw with Shane McMahon. Well, I'm not looking at that, Shane.
And Shane, I agree. OC is probably the closest to heel right now.
I would, yeah. WWE has lost 8 title matches in the last 2 years. Joe has lost 8 WWE title matches in the last 2 years, which is sad.
I agree.
Like,
which is part of the
so
problem right
sad.
now is and that's why I said right now it's tough to tell the heels
I know.
from
Ouch.
from
Ouch is
your
right.
faces because it's like the heels don't do anything. The ones that you are supposed to be your heels.
Bro, I'm going to ask a quick favor of you.
What?
Can you make this screen smaller and make that screen a little bigger and move it over some so the text isn't getting cut off so I know what I'm talking about? Otherwise, I'm going to be like,
A dork.
hey guys. I'm going to have to, like, turn my head sideways. Yeah, like we generally have it. I don't even know what we did today. That's better.
Is that better?
That's better. Thanks, man. Cool. Anyways, continue on. Sorry, guys.
I don't know. It's just, tonight was kind of a pointless thing, in my opinion.
Like I said, I understand it based on the fact of wanting to draw people in and get people to come to this show because Stone Cold is labeled as being there and Ric Flair is being labeled as being there and Hulk Hogan is being labeled as being there. I understand that aspect of it, but based on trying to build storylines around this, it is not easy when you are doing the whole Legends show.
See,
So I get that.
If they did that with Joe and used him that way, I would say, okay, he's a legitimate heel.
I 100% think Joe should have beat Kofi
But-
at Extreme Rules. I just do.
But the way they're doing it right now, there is no heel.
He should have beat him. And then now we have this stupid Smackville show next week with Dolph and Joe versus Kofi for the championship. It's not going to change hands there either because it's a glorified house show.
Yeah.
It is a house show.
Yeah.
They're just putting it on the network for extra content.
Yeah.
So I don't really see the purpose of that if we know that Joe and Dolph are not going to win the championship.
Yes.
So, but then he has to lose all non-title matches back to
Yes,
square one.
definitely. It's like tonight, opening match. It's like we haven't ever seen the Revival versus Usos.
They have had 10 matches in the last, 6 months.
And since it was a non-title match, it was pretty obvious who was going to win this.
Yes, it was.
So,
Anyways, before
and
we
then
get
they're
to that,
talking about them being the number one contenders. Well,
Of course they are.
I think they just moved back into the number one contender spot. Well,
they never left. So that makes no sense.
Owen lost to AJ. Owen's lost to AJ at the house show, not televised.
Why? Why do you have Owens lose to AJ? That's what I want to know. Because we're supposed to be building Owens up as this big bad guy who's going to knock out Shane McMahon, and then you have him lose to AJ at a house show? Like, what? Does that make any sense?
U.S. title. Shane's going face. Kofi for the title. It's a proven fact. Shane is winning the title.
No, he's not, James. No, he's not. Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman are in charge now? No.
Well, they used to have, like way back when, at like house shows and things like that, they would have them losing. There'd
Just
be
to change things up.
sometimes title is
You
changed
know what's
hands.
also funny is they have said that the Becky and Seth are never putting their titles on the line against Lacey and Corbin once again, and apparently that's what Becky has been doing at house shows is putting her title up against Lacey. Guys,
Well, that's not shocking. I mean,
they can't even follow their own stupid rules. Like it makes no sense. At least it's not on TV. Which I mean, I'm thankful
Shane
for
is in
that.
the program with Owens.
They have to finish out the Shane and Owens
Yeah, I
thing.
think
They
we
have
almost
to. They just have to, and Owens has to beat him at SummerSlam. That's
Oh,
just
yeah.
the way it has to be. Like, there will be no other way. Otherwise, people are going to get angry.
Yeah.
Like, there will be a mob that will go to Shane McMahon's dressing room at SummerSlam to beat him up if he wins.
I'd rather see the Miz beat him just because.
I like the Owens
I
thing
mean-
right now because they're treating him as, like, the new Stone Cold. It would have been really cool tonight if we saw Owens and Stone Cold in a segment where he kind of is like passing the torch almost, you know?
If they have him win the title, I think that you're gonna have a
Boy, oh boy, I'm not watching anymore.
Well, she might not, but I will.
No, I mean, I'll still watch it, but I just won't watch Shane.
Because I think you're gonna have a lot of people that will turn away from WWE if they do that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people that are sitting on the fence right now for whatever reason. I mean, I get the storylines are bad and things like that. But I continue to watch because it's entertainment.
You continue. I continue too. This is what we do.
Well, I know that. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why you continue to watch because, I mean, that's your decision. But I'm just explaining why I continue to watch.
I continue to watch because generally it's entertaining. Generally speaking. Okay, anyways, moving on. We haven't even gotten into the show yet. Cena opens the show. They do, or like, Usos are like, oh, why don't you drop some rhymes right now? And then it was real funny because Cena, he was like something about, oh, you know, you two getting arrested with their recent, you know, incident. And both Usos are like, ha ha ha, there we go. There's the doctor with Thugonomics. That was good. Like, even they were laughing at it, and I thought it was funny. And then Rikishi comes out, and you know, they had to have done the dance. Like, that's the one thing I was a little bit upset with during this segment, was that they didn't get to do the dance, the Too Cool dance, and we didn't see Rikishi do the stink face on anybody. Like, come on. Dawson had it coming.
Yeah.
Like, he totally had it coming. But they didn't do it.
Well,
I was like, guys, you're joking me, right? We're going to end this without
this is why I think that part of this...
Mind blown.
Well, this is part of why I felt that this was not, like, kind of weak. Because if you're going to bring these guys out...
Let them do their thing.
Let them somehow get involved in it.
Like, Rikishi totally should have done the dance, or he should have gotten Dawson or something. Like they just should have. Like, why was he out there otherwise? Yeah. It made no sense. He came out there and he was like, let's do the dance. And then the Revival comes out, and they have Devon. This was so sad, too. Like, if you're going to have the Dudley Boys, you need to have both of them. And if one of them declines the offer, then just say to the other one, okay, Bully Ray had something else to do, so he declined the offer. So, unfortunately, we're going to go in a different direction because we don't have both Dudley Boys. Why can't you just say that? Because honestly, this was kind of weak. I didn't like that Devon was the only Dudley Boy out there. That was just kind of pitiful.
Yeah, I mean...
I understand in the aspect of Rikishi and the Usos and then Devon and the Revival. Like, I understand the six-man thing. They probably didn't, but I mean, I think it would have been nice to see, you know, just based upon that's what he did. That was part of his gimmick.
Yeah.
But, you know, or like I said, or do stink face on Dawson. Why couldn't we have seen that?
What if they treat Becky so bad and quit? Went back to Japan, back to EW.
I for sure will totally be done with WWE. And no Scotty. Yeah, I mean, that was the other thing. Like, you know, he didn't have that. But
I don't know. They could have done something.
I thought they could have done it with the Usos because they'd done it before.
Yeah. I mean, they could have done something with them. Whether, you know, but I don't know.
So then Revival and Devon come out, and then Booker gets on commentary. Booker T, of course, you know, they got to throw different people on commentary throughout the show. And then we get the Revival versus the Usos. And the Usos end up getting the win. Now, these guys have had like a total of 10 matches in the last, like, I don't know how many months. It's like not a long time. Yeah. Hey, Chaos, what's up?
KO was apparently at a house show. That's a shame.
I know, he should have been here with Stone Cold.
Yeah.
He just should have been.
Yeah.
It would have been better. So Usos get the win, and I thought it was, you know, decent. It was a decent match. I feel like the Revival and Usos, they really haven't had a bad match. It's just a matter that we've seen it about 1 billion times at this point, which kind of gets on people's nerves. But if you're looking at it match-wise, they're really not bad. So, you know, they have that going for them. So then we get a backstage segment with Alicia Fox, Toy Wilson, Santino Marella, and Caitlyn. And they're all kind of back there talking, and then Santino comes up, and he has his, like, snake, and is like, oh, yes, blah, 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 blah. And so, you know, it was lovely. I wish Santino would have gotten involved in the 24/7 segments
That would have been cool.
because I thought it would have been real funny.
I get that they're the best tag teams in WWE, but I agree. I think they need to move on. I think they need to change some things up. This is why people, I think, are getting tired of it, because you see the same thing
Oh my gosh!
over and over
Oh my
again.
gosh! Oh my gosh! You guys, literally,
Creepy.
it was weird, but he's got his little snake thing. We had a certain tag team that faced another certain tag team that was in a certain tag team division, and I was a little excited for this, but then we'll talk about that in a minute. Santino is fighting soon under his real name. I assume that's why he was on there. Interesting.
The funny thing is a lot of these legends all are had more TV time than a lot of the main roster people.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a segment. You know what I wish? I wish Caitlyn. His spinal stenosis. Why is Alicia Fox a legend?
Good question.
I wonder if she is getting to the point where she's just not gonna be a regular in ring anymore. I would be okay with it.
Okay, but does that make you a legend?
No, not really. But if they're putting her in the reunion category as being one who kind of made the women's division, then yes, I guess in that aspect she's kind of a legend for that, but I mean, not really. So I'm okay. Yeah, she's just been there for so long. So I guess that gives you legend status, I suppose.
I guess.
I mean, I've been in this world 15 years. Does that make me a legend?
Yes.
Okay. Just checking.
Have you all seen Santino's daughter?
No.
No.
She's a Kitchen SmackDown legend. Show some respect. Yeah, I mean, she has paved the way for a lot of the women in the roster. So I do understand the aspect of her being there, just, for that reason. I hope that she's not going to be regular talent anymore, and that she's just going to kind of, we haven't seen her in so long. She had that one match with Becky a couple months ago, but she hasn't had anything since then, and I really don't see her coming back as a full-time competitor, and I think maybe that's for the best.
Yeah.
So, I mean, putting her in that category of being on the reunion shows, I think is fine.
Yeah.
And will be fine for her.
Yes. I hope they never have another reunion show.
I don't hold your breath on that, man, because they're going to. They'll have another one in the next year.
No, I hope not.
No, they will. They will.
She needs a Fruity Loop market.
Fox would be an interesting manager. See, I could see her put in that role too. What did she say? She said something about her hat for SummerSlam, so I guess maybe she could still be.
She needs a bigger hat for SummerSlam.
Yeah, she could still be in-ring talent, be there all the time, but I don't know. I feel like we just haven't seen her in so long that it makes more sense to just keep her off TV at this point.
I guess.
Because I don't really think anybody cares.
But using that theory, you have about 4 people that'll be on TV.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Well, they let her come back.
Definitely.
Let Arn Anderson. I mean, yeah, I do. Ah, man, that was a whole controversy. I understand that. Arn Anderson left, but she didn't, and I think that is just kind of messed up. But it was kind of, it was kind of his fault.
Yeah.
In the first place for putting her in the ring when he knew that she was intoxicated. So,
yeah.
I do understand why he's gone.
Still
doesn't make it any less smart as to why she's still there.
No.
But I think they got her help, and she's in a better spot than she was, so I guess that's a good thing. They didn't want to let her go because they knew of the state that she was in.
But yeah,
so,
whatever.
Who knows? Then we get an R-Truth and Carmella segment. I don't think Arn wants to come back. R-Truth and Carmella. Renee, Maverick's wife, he comes in and pretty much just kind of yells at Mella and Truth, and she's like, you two have single-handedly ruined my husband's life. You ruined our wedding. You ruined our honeymoon. And now I'm going to ruin you. And then Maverick rolled up Truth and he got pinned for 1, 2, 3. And Maverick is the 24/7 champion. Again. All right, guys. Keep track of that. That's the first title change of the whole evening.
I felt this was a good segment, but I felt the whole 24/7 thing throughout the night was kind of, I don't know, I think they kind of messed it up.
I don't know. I don't think it was bad. I'm marking this, guys. I didn't actually count how many we had, so I'm going to mark off how many times the championship changes hands.
Like, are you talking about for the whole night or this particular segment, Chaos?
I think I would assume he's probably
because the whole I didn't think this segment was bad, but the whole night
I think they did change the title changed hands a lot. The whole night.
Yeah.
I can understand that. It can get a little jumbled. It really can. So I mean that was a little difficult, I guess. So Drake pins Truth, and then Godfather comes in, and he does this whole gimmick with Charlie. And then we have Drew McIntyre versus Cedric Alexander. This was a no contest. This ended up being a no contest because Drew McIntyre beat the crap out of Cedric Alexander. Well, you guys, they made Cedric look strong last week, and this week they made him look like utter trash.
Yeah.
I think it's a whole 50-50 scheme at this point, with the fact that this is a reunion show. They were like, oh, well, let's just make things even and have Drew versus Cedric again, but you know what? We're just gonna not have, the only part of the show with any continuity. The Drew-Cedric thing. I mean, I can understand that.
I think he's talking about the 24/7 championship.
Oh.
Is that what you're talking about, Shane?
Or are we talking about the...
And they managed to include the Legends. It's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I think it made sense to have the Legends, and like you said, we got the first woman out of it.
Yeah.
I believe that the first woman should have been Mella.
I agree. I think
but
I think it was probably the most continuity out of the whole show. I just don't like the way they did it.
It was done a lot, but I thought it kind of made it funny too. At the same point,
It was. I mean, okay.
I think it just kind of depends on how you look at it. So Drew McIntyre, Cedric Alexander, no contest. Cedric gets the crap kicked out of him, and then the only legend thing that did any good was Foley, in my opinion. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. I got some things to say about that. That was a good segment, in my opinion. To me, they buried the entire roster with Legends. They did. They really did. There was only one person that got over, and you'll never guess who that was. Never will guess. So then we have Drake Maverick getting his stuff from the back. I thought this was another good 24/7 segment. So he's like, hurrying. He's like, oh, yes, Renee. Woohoo, Renee. And then the boogie, it goes dark, and he opens a suitcase, and there's worms, and he's like, ah! And then Boogeyman shows up, scares the bejesus out of him. And then he's falling over on the floor. And then Pat Patterson comes in and starts to kick him. And then a ref shows up, and he literally sticks his foot on him, and he was like, count, 1, 2, 3. And then Maverick literally just laid there. And Pat Patterson becomes the new 24/7 champion.
I like that segment. Shane, I like that segment too. The Simmons segment.
Ron Simmons always is. I love his segments. They're so short and sweet and simple and to the point, and they're good.
Yeah.
They make me laugh. Cause it's and they're they make you jump, and then I laugh.
Yeah.
Cause I'm oh, I wasn't expecting that. That was funny.
Yeah.
So second title change. This was good. I thought this was good. Hey, Elijah, what's up? What do you think of tonight's show?
So then we have Christian getting on commentary.
For the Viking Raiders versus guys, you will never guess who they were fighting.
Not jobbers.
Not jobbers.
Okay, they just will be jobbers.
I was just going to say that. They're not facing actual jobbers. They were facing a tag team in the roster, Ryder and Hawkins, who might as well be jobbers. But they were not jobbers. They were actually in the tag team division, and I was kind of glad to see that.
Boom.
But still, they're kind of jobbers. So, great show. Elijah thought it was
Elijah
a great
liked
show.
it, apparently.
See, like I said, I didn't think it was bad for being a reunion show. For being part of the weekly programming, it kind of sucked. But based on it being a reunion show and comparing it to the past reunion shows that we had, I thought this was a better one. So I wasn't completely disappointed with it, just based on that aspect. But if we're talking about building storylines and stuff, they just didn't do that.
The problem
So
is,
that this just
you
isn't the
probably,
show for you.
Okay, but here's the deal. You probably had the most eyes on the show tonight
Mhm.
that you've had in several weeks.
Because they put the legends' names out there.
Definitely. And so, if you're going to do this, if you're going to have them out there, you better be ready to have your main roster put on a good show. Because right now, you got people have turned away.
Uh-huh.
Because of the simple fact that they're turned off by what's happening on WWE.
Yeah.
So you had the opportunity with all the publicity of the old, the legends coming back,
The old stars.
that they could have put out a good show and still got the legends involved.
Mhm.
And I feel they didn't do that.
Mhm.
And so now
I
you're
do
gonna
agree with
have
that.
people going, okay, why did I come back and watch this? If we don't get Joe versus Roman and a headbutt to
WWE fails us. I mean, not gonna lie, the headbutts were pretty vicious. They really were. So Viking Raiders versus Ryder and Hawkins. Ryder and Hawkins are the equivalent of jobbers. The Raiders got the win. Yeah, the stadium was packed.
Yes.
It was a full house.
But why? The question is, why were they
Because
packed?
Stone Cold was listed as being there. That's why.
And
Happy to see
that's-
Major Bros on TV. They do a lot for Comic-Con and social media, and I think it's the right choice. I do too. I think their stuff outside of WWE, they do a lot. They
Yeah.
really do. If you look at it, they are two that do a bunch to kind of
Yeah.
get WWE out there as a whole. You know, they
Mhm.
do like their Comic-Con and their social media, and they have a podcast, and because it's in Tampa, that was another thing. It was you're gonna get a big crowd in bigger places. So, I do think that Ryder and Hawkins, I don't know, they just treat them like jobbers, and so, that's the only downside because they do a lot for WWE.
I mean, if the ratings aren't good this week, then I don't know what they're going to do to try and get people to come back to watch.
Don't either. Not a clue. So, then after this, we get a backstage segment between Mike and Maria. Guys, last week I was trying to give this the benefit of the doubt, and I was like, I just kind of want to see where they're going with this, but at this point, it's kind of stupid. Maria comes in and is like, Mike, I have this lotion here, and you're supposed to be rubbing it all over my belly so that I don't get stretch marks, so that I can still do my modeling career, because everybody knows that I'm the breadwinner in this house, and you are not because you are horrible. Yeah, I'm just... I was trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, so bad. I just don't think I can anymore. This is getting stupid. I thought this was going in a, interesting direction. Yeah, they just kind of screwed that up.
Well, it depends. I mean, let's see where it goes.
I mean, I'm still going to give it, a chance, but as of right now, it's just stupid. I don't see the purpose of
I
this.
mean, there's some stuff they could do different with it, but let's see where it goes. See what they're going to do with it.
I definitely agree with that. But I'm leaning more at yes. Payoff
Definitely,
is
it's taking too long.
So, also, Mike has a match with Drake tomorrow? Or when is this match taking place? He's supposed to have a match with Drake Maverick.
Yeah,
I can almost imagine that Drake Maverick is going to beat him.
yeah, probably.
Just to play out more of this you suck Mike story.
Yeah.
And
I
then
can see
I
that.
think we'll see what Maria will do.
Yeah.
Because if he gets beat by Drake Maverick, who isn't even a regular in-ring competitor,
She'll go with Drake Maverick.
she's just going to be like...
Now that Drake Maverick's laugh went off with
You.
with Truth.
She's just going to be like, you're kidding. You can't even beat Maverick.
Yeah.
Who isn't an in-ring
Oh,
competitor
definitely,
on the
yeah.
regular. He really is good. I'm not trying to trash on Drake, but to go with storyline based on, You know, like, Maverick isn't even a regular in-ring competitor and doesn't compete, like, ever, except when he's chasing the 24/7 championship. So, you know,
Definitely
you got
Cass.
beat by him. And that's kind of a joke. You know?
Yeah.
I think that would make a lot of sense for that. So, I'm curious to see where that goes. Because I think it could be interesting.
But that's a lot of it. I mean, it's how they use them and how they write the storylines.
But right now, what they're doing with Mike and Maria on the main roster is just kind of like, what? Like, based on the stupid stuff that they're showing us.
Yeah.
Like I just don't get it.
Well,
but, like,
like I
on
said,
205
it's-
Live, I feel like it's better.
Before we sit here and, like, say, okay, let's totally get rid of
No,
this.
and
let's
I
see where
get
it's
that.
going.
And I'm still trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, but based off of last week, and then we look at this week, I'm kind of like, what is this? This is kind of getting to the point where this is stupid. Because, like, we're not doing anything. And I don't understand what we're doing. It makes no sense. So, yeah, we have that. And then we get the club and AJ. The club versus AJ. Jeez,
It's-
boy,
it's
that would be a match.
OC.
Oh, OC, the original club?
Yeah.
Got it,
It's just
whatever.
OC.
OC.
Yeah.
I wrote it down as the club.
Yeah,
and
I see
AJ.
that. It's OC.
OC. I'm never going to remember that.
Yeah, because OC is tough to remember.
No, but I'm just always going to call them the club.
Yeah,
need
they definitely
the OC
fit.
versus
I wonder
the BC.
if, when he comes back, if he won't, like, be part of the club.
I think that'd be fun. Not going to lie.
Or
That'd
the
be fun.
OC. Sorry.
Anyone see the new OC shirt? I haven't looked at the app for, like, shirts and stuff in a while.
Is that the one they were wearing?
If it was the one that they're wearing, then yes, I saw it, and I just don't know what the new shirt is. So they're, like, talking about later how they, have a match or whatever and stuff, so can't be the original club without the
Maybe
original
that's how
club
they're
without
going to
the
bring
club.
him back.
Be like, we are the OC, but we're not actually the real OC, because,
Yeah.
look right now. Yes.
73 hours just waiting for Becky.
Incredible.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought the shirt was cool.
Nice to see they got a new Titantron.
Titantron.
Jeez, I can't read. So then we get another 24/7 segment. Guys, title changes hands. Again. Oh, it changes twice. Sorry. My bad. Gerald Briscoe wins the title from Pat Patterson. And then Kelly comes around the corner and is like, oh, hey, Jerry, what's up? How's it going? Yeah, awesome. And then she, like, kicks him and is like, pin him. 1, 2, 3. And she is the first woman 24/7 champion. Just like that. Kelly. Not gonna lie, it should have been Mella. Mella should have beat Truth. I mean, that burned their bridge. But it should have happened.
Yeah.
I definitely think it should have been Mella. I'm not mad that Kelly was the first woman's...
They
24/7
should
champ.
have had Carmella pinning.
But Carmella would have been better. That would have totally messed up the R-Truth Mella thing.
Kelly has not changed.
But it would have been better.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely.
But just to have, like, the first, like, to actually see that it can go on a woman, it should have been Renee and Michelle. It should have. Just imagine that she wins the
that would
title
have been
for
funny. They're
Drake.
going to go consummate their marriage, and she, like, pins him instead of,
Yeah,
consummating the marriage.
that'd be funny.
And then takes off.
And then Pitt and Drake on their honeymoon. Yeah, I mean, that would have been gold. Like, total gold. They should have done it. There are a bunch of different ways.
That's what I think they should have done.
Totally could have gone so many different ways. Like, excellent,
Tim and Tanya. Something.
I mean, I'm not gonna argue. Are you gonna argue?
No.
Okay, didn't think so. So, Kelly is the first women's champion. We're up to 4 title changes, and this isn't even in, like, I feel like this wasn't even, like, the first hour of the show. Like, was it?
No.
I don't even think it was. So, then we have, what was next? Oh, Samoa Joe.
Yeah,
Boy, oh
Samoa
boy.
Joe.
This segment, I don't know, man. Joe has just been treated like trash. I mean, he just has. He really has. It's not good. Like, it's not good.
No.
Like, they have just messed him up so bad. So he like trashes on Usos and Roman, and the Samoan family business. He's trashing on that. And then Roman comes out and is like, well, if you got something to say it to my face. And he was like, well, guess what? I already did.
They went to the Backlash 2018.
Joe then beats down Roman. And Roman kind of comes back from it. He Superman punches him. And then, Joe lays out an offer for a match. And he's like, you know what? You people want to see this, so it's not gonna happen. Well, then Roman gets on the mic and is like, sorry, guys. Not all Samoans are cowards. And then Joe kind of got mad and was like, fine. You want your match? You got your match. And then we go to commercial break and we come back. And we get Joe versus Roman. The beatdown was good. Just...
Well, the problem is...
I don't know.
If you're trying to make Joe a strong, guy, then
you can't do it.
You have to start having him win some of these matches.
You can't have Roman keep winning. That's the problem here.
Well, the problem is Joe loses all the time.
The problem is Joe could have swore. He totally did.
I'm pretty sure he did.
He did. Because they they cut the sound out.
I'm pretty sure he did.
And so, darn. If only we caught that on camera.
I'm pretty, well, you could read his lips.
It's really not that
I'm
hard.
pretty sure he said that's what he said.
If WWE, we're not that stupid. They try to make us think that we're stupid.
Yeah.
But we really aren't. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I feel like Roman wins too much and Joe loses too much. So, we need to kind of find this happy medium where Reigns loses sometimes and Joe wins a lot more than he does right now. Because all he does is lose anymore.
Yeah. I agree.
So, I don't know. Because, I feel like every match Roman is in, every match he's had with Drew, he's won. Like I said at Stomping Grounds, I felt like Roman should have lost.
Yeah.
Just to kind of even the playing field a little bit, even though Roman has beat Drew a couple times before. Just to give somebody else something under their belt to say, oh, I beat Roman Reigns or whatever. I don't know, man. I just feel like they need to do something.
That'd be interesting.
They just need to do something with it.
Especially, since they kind of made an emphasis
on the fact that they're both
Samoans.
Samoan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They did. I don't know, man. I just think they need to do something with both guys. They need to let Joe win more first. That would be a start. And then they need to do something with Roman because honestly, I'm just getting to the point, like I said, that I really just don't care anymore. It's the same story every single time. And
Yeah.
it's difficult to watch because it's the same thing.
Yeah.
If I watch this week's show compared to last week's show, it'd be literally the same thing. The same thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so I don't know.
Yeah,
they need to change. It's like AJ. I was like, oh, I don't like AJ.
Yeah.
Because he does the same thing. Then they turned him heel and I was okay with it.
I think that'd be cool chaos. If they can make it happen.
One thing I will say. AJ needs to stop cutting promos. Come on, guys.
Joe is a fat Samoan.
AJ needs to stop cutting promos too. I just need to say that because I didn't say that before when we were talking about his promo segment. He just does. I just don't like
think he's bad. I just think he's
they're kind of flat and boring. He has nothing. I don't know.
So if they do this thing with New Japan Wrestling, is it gonna be once every month, or is this gonna be a legitimate crossover type thing? I mean, what is
Oh my gosh, guys!
If they're gonna make a legitimate crossover thing, then I'm all for it. But if it's gonna be okay, we're gonna do this once a month or once every couple of months.
Will Ospreay versus. Guys, I'm so sorry. For those of you that watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, I'm so sorry. I can't remember what this dude's name was, but I saw a video. It was from the other day from the G1 tournament or whatever. And
Ospreay's slap.
Yeah, the chop to
across
the
the
chest. And it was like a highlight reel of like stuff from their match, and I was like, "Geez, these guys are good." I can't remember what the other guy's name was.
Can't be the rest of the
It was Will Ospreay. Who was it?
I don't know.
Okada. That's who it was. Oh my gosh, they also have so many similar names. Like, I don't know. For a minute there, I was talking to somebody about Kushida
I would say
earlier.
you trade. Well, see, that's what I wonder is if they would do kind of a crossover type thing.
I was talking about Kushida earlier with somebody, and then I don't know, for some reason, like, after I typed it out, I was like, it is Kushida, right? Because, like, Kushida's in NXT, right? And then I started thinking about all the other names, and I was like, Okada, and all these other people, and I was like, they all have such similar names, sounding names, and they're all, like, really, I mean, Kushida and Okada, they're two different things, but I don't know, to me, they all just kind of sound relatively the same.
Yeah, they both have a K.
And so it's difficult for me to remember who it is. Yeah, Okada, Will Ospreay versus Okada, and I was like, geez, these guys are like really good in the ring. And I got a link to where we can do the New Japan Wrestling stuff and where we can see it and where you can buy it to watch it.
Okay.
So I'll have to look at that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Colin.
Sorry, I
you.
never watched it. Sorry. I've seen clips of it.
Um,
I've kind of watched it a little more, like trying to pick up some stuff since we've been on here.
Speaking of Will Ospreay, he's got not beef with more people on Twitter, but Randy Orton is now going after Ospreay. He was like, we should have a match, Ospreay versus Orton 2020, and they were like going back and forth, and he was like, oh, well, you should talk to your organization and see if you can get time to come over here and wrestle me, because I'm here for the long haul, buddy. And then Randy was like, oh, fine, I'll talk to them on Tuesday when I go to SmackDown. Sounds good.
Yeah.
They were all like being like friendly with each other, but it was totally like, oh yeah, let's have a match together. It was real funny. Like I don't get it. I don't get it. Everybody's like Ospreay.
Yeah, if the organization was to start working together, it'd be cool. I think that having some of that, would be pretty awesome.
Nobody can get Will Ospreay out of their mouths. They just can't. They keep repeatedly saying his name. Sorry, Omega fans. I don't know. I like Omega. I mean, I think he's like, good in the ring. He's like one of the better ones that I've seen. He's probably in like the top list of top 10 like best wrestlers in the world.
Wrestler of the year for me.
Everywhere. Cause like, I mean, it wasn't even a long
Export,
video.
are you saying Ospreay's the wrestler of the year? Is that what you're saying?
Like, it wasn't even a long video that I saw. It was like probably like a 5-minute video of like Will Ospreay versus Okada, and I was like, geez, he really, they are good. Like, it didn't even take all that long for me to be like, dang.
Yeah.
That's some good wrestling right there. It wasn't even like an actual show that I sat through. It was just 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, that says something, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it does.
Alrighty, so where are we in the show?
Becky's. Now, James, you said you're a Tony Storm fan too. Omega's a DDP Jr. I can see that.
Yeah, I heard about that match too. I haven't seen anything, but watch his older matches against Ricochet. Who?
Ospreay.
Okay, I was assuming we were talking about Ospreay, but we also mentioned Omega in there, and we also mentioned some other people in there, so I wasn't sure what we were talking. Ospreay, got it. Yeah, I'll have to look it up. But I don't even remember what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something.
Yeah, me neither.
Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I know what Chaos is talking about.
I don't. Sometimes I get confused. There's so many
know.
comments that come in, it's like, what? They all just kind of mesh together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, no, sorry, that was the answer to that one and not the other one. No, anyways. So, Roman gets the win. They just need to do something different. Like, I can't stress this enough. They gotta do something different with both guys to get them across.
Yeah.
Because Joe is just kind of laughable at this point.
I agree.
And Roman just needs something different to spice it up because he's just getting bland. Just as.
This show is awesome. Which show? Which show are you talking about?
Our show.
Oh, our show?
Our show. He's
Got you.
100% talking about our show. Like, there's not a doubt in my mind that that is not what he's talking about. I mean, come on. So then we get Miz TV with Seth. Seth comes out and he's got his new slogan or whatever that's like, I don't even know what it is, and then burn it down with fire. I don't know.
When they decide, after they get the covers
Yeah,
changed,
your show is awesome. Thanks, guys.
after they get the
I
cover,
think it's pretty
James,
awesome too.
after they
Some-
get
He, no,
after
no, no,
they
nope.
get Becky off.
Nope, I'll finish this. he's going to get a picture of Lacey. He already has it ready to go, and he's going to slide it into the cover.
No, I'm answering
instead.
his question. He says, question, when are they going to release the cover of WWE 2K20?
Oh, I can answer this question too. He's going to say after Becky drops the title.
Yes.
Got it. Jeez.
Yes, James, they're
Stupid
releasing
smart
Becky.
person. So Miss TV with Seth Rollins. I can't even think of what his new slogan is. It's probably going to be on a t-shirt, which you guys have seen the videos everywhere. Some people think it's cheesy. Other people think that it's cool. I find it really funny that they're putting Becky and Seth both in like these inspirational videos like at the same time. Like, it just makes me laugh. Becky up. She's like, instead of man up, Becky up. And I was like, I want to Becky up. Hashtag Becky up. And someone on Twitter was like, don't encourage them. And I was like, oh, I will encourage them.
Cover should be Mean Gene. Definitely. Mean Gene would be awesome. I think putting Mean Gene on the cover would be great.
Sure.
Better than Becky.
That's debatable.
Sorry, James.
That's debatable. So, Miss TV, I thought that was like a decent segment. They kind of showed us like a recap of last week. Yeah, wouldn't it be last week that we had Extreme Rules? Was that last week or was that 2 weeks ago? I don't even remember. But it was a recap from Extreme Rules and when he lost the title. And then he said that Brock Lesnar wants to beat Seth freaking Rollins. Well, then Paul Heyman in the back is like, whoa, 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 whoa. My client, Brock Lesnar, spit flying everywhere, of course. We just need to get a spray bottle, so then every time I say that from the back here, we can just spray, and make everything wet. Because that's logically what Paul Heyman does, right? Ignite the fire, burn it down. That's what it is. I could not remember for the life of me what it was. That shows how memorable it was.
We Marcinus that.
But, you know, that's what it was. And I just found it really funny that they put both Seth and Becky in these, like, inspirational videos at the same time. I just thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, they're totally going to do the same thing, but we're not going to put them in the same segments because nobody likes that.
No.
Like, and I just think it's funny.
Seth cut a horrible promo.
It wasn't one of his best.
No.
He's done better. 100%. He's done better. So then Paul Heyman comes out, and Seth is like, okay, listen here. If you're going to talk for Brock, well, then guess what?
Yeah,
now you are going to have to walk the walk for Brock. So, walk the walk for Brock. Stupid that it rhymes. You have about 5 seconds to leave, or I'm going to come up the ramp, and I'm going to trample you. I'm going to curb stomp your head so hard into the ground, you won't remember what last Tuesday was. That's not what he said. I just kind of added that on there. I think I cut a better promo than he did.
That was your own made-up promo.
It was. But you know what? I just kind of added on to it because I feel like it might have needed that.
Okay.
So then Paul, he started counting. He was like 5. And Paul Heyman got this like look on his face like, no, you can't be serious, right? You're joking. And then he was like, 4, 3, and Paul Heyman just like looked at him and was like, he threw the mic and was like, whoop, I'm out of here. And he did like this like really speedy run that was like really hilarious because he's like a bigger dude. And like it just looks funny. Like you never see, he's like a short, tiny dude.
Seth sounded like a kid in a school play in like 2nd grade.
It was so funny. I think the promo that I just cut was better than his. Right? Right. We're all just going to agree on that. Okay. Just throwing that out there. I made the promo better.
What do y'all think we're going to have in store tomorrow for Eric's going to have in store tomorrow? I don't know. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
Shane and KO. I do feel like that's happening for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Shane just needs to go away. Like, I mean, it was great that we didn't see him at all.
He's not going to go until after SummerSlam.
I know he's not, but I'm not going to keep saying, I'm not going to stop saying it until he's gone. He just needs to go.
There's a meme of him running saying, little kids. That's funny. I thought, that was the best part of that segment.
I thought it was
Heyman, the way Heyman reacted.
Like, some people were like,
funny.
I don't understand why Heyman came out. And then I was like, bro, to get that whole reaction of him going 5, 4, oh, crap, I probably should leave because I am not a wrestler. Like, I'm just not. And then he just, like, hiked his pants up and left.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
I thought that was cool.
So then they kind of finish their segment, and he's, like, oh, we're gonna, whatever the heck his new slogan is, burn it down. It's somewhere up there in the chat. That's not gonna move the chat up if you just stick your hand.
No, I was wiping off the screen where you spit on it.
Oh, see, I told you when I cut Brock Lesnar promo, I get spit everywhere. Just because that's what Heyman does. If you want to get the full effect, you gotta have the spit flying everywhere.
Oh, yeah. He came out because...
Seth was drowning.
Yeah, he helped out.
He had to, because that was just it was not a good promo for Seth. So then we have Sami Zayn backstage, and he's trashing on all the legends. And then Ray comes up, and, actually Ray came up and was like, bro, respect your elders. Like, come on, dude. They paved the way for you. And then Kurt Angle came in and was like, whoa. When I was the general manager here, we always settled things in the ring. So, let's go do that, guys. Ding! And they were like, okay, sounds great. And then they, walked out. Notice here how the only guy that really wasn't mic'd up and sounded so quiet was Rey Mysterio. Sammy sounded louder.
Yeah.
Kurt sounded louder. And then Ray walks up and, I swear to you, he's the only guy who was not mic'd up.
Yeah.
I just thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
Because honestly, it was Sammy was like, oh, yeah, no, you want to fight with me? And then Ray walks up and he's like, yo, dude, respect your elders. It was
Do you think
a
Vince is
difference.
this way and making everyone hate him his punishment for all the time Shane spent away from him? Killing the kid. Good question.
I never thought of it that way.
That's a good question.
If it did, I think it worked.
No, Sammy is never boring. The issue I have with Sammy is, and I understand it's part of his character, is just to take him serious.
Yeah, I get that. He has an aspect to him where you can't really take him seriously.
Yeah.
I do like him as a heel.
Yeah.
I do. I like him as a babyface too, but I think I like him more as a heel. At first, I really wasn't into the whole, he's gonna hate on everybody. The critique of the critics.
Yeah.
The critic of the critics, I think is what they called it.
Oh, definitely. When Vince hates something, he drives it into the ground.
Well, maybe he just hates Shane.
Yeah, possible.
This is why we never see Stephanie on TV. Because
Yeah.
he's like, favorite child of mine. Go, ascend, and do good things while I leave Shane here and ruin his life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I like Sammy as a heel. I think it works for him.
I do too, but again, I mean, he's more. It's hard to take him serious.
Card, perfect example.
I mean, it's really hard to take him serious.
It is hard to take him serious. But I feel like that's part of the charm to his thing. It's he's a heel, but we all know that he's just kind of. Bleh.
I had literally a dream that I had the Golden Child of Bailey's title match with Ember. If that happens, I will never
Oh my
watch
gosh,
ever.
James. The odd thing is, I thought about that yesterday. I was like, because tomorrow we're supposed to get Charlotte versus Ember.
Yeah.
And I was like, are they going to add Charlotte to the match? Because honestly, Charlotte, you can't have SummerSlam without Charlotte.
Oh, he is definitely a more entertaining Dolph Ziggler.
There is
no doubt about that.
No way. They're not.
Zayn is Loki.
There is no way that they're not going to put Charlotte on the SummerSlam card somewhere. She's going to be added. I'm sorry, James. But I think she's going to be added to the title match.
Probably.
I just think she is because they're not going to go another pay-per-view without her on.
Which is dumb.
They've already gone the last 3.
Yeah.
And this is a big one.
Yeah.
So, of course, she's going to be on the show. And if she isn't, I will be shocked.
Yeah, I agree.
Literally shocked.
She'll be on.
She has to be.
Yeah.
It just makes sense. I was worried about them adding Alexa to the stupid Natalya versus Becky match.
They're going to.
Oh, I hope not. I swear to you, I hope not. Ember versus Bailey. That's what we're talking about. Adding Charlotte to the Ember versus Bailey match. I feel like they're almost just going to. Because, like I said, you can't have a SummerSlam without Charlotte. You just can't. She's huge. Because I think Ember's going over. I would love to see Ember as the champion. Honestly, I feel like that's what she deserves it, and I think that it would be good for the women's division as a whole to put somebody who isn't out there as much. Oh, I also want to talk about that. I also want to talk about that chaos because I had some thoughts on that too. I thought she was going to show up tonight. But I'll kind of talk about that a little bit more once we get to the women's segment. It's kind of, far up there in the show. Like, I thought they were going to have something happen with how far up in the show it was.
Yeah.
And then they didn't. And I was like, well, that was kind of disappointing.
Well, I don't care if she comes back. The issue right now is they need to build the women's division before they bring her back.
Mm-hmm. And I think they're probably going to think of...
I should.
I wish.
I need to talk to him.
I wish we had a bubbly sponsorship. We have a whole bunch upstairs, like literally, 4 or 5 cases of them.
When Becky wins Ronda Rousey. I
And
don't
then that'll lead into
They need to build up the women's division.
Well, we would get the match that we wanted that we never got. Becky versus Ronda in a singles match. And then she can use the whole storyline of, well, guess what, bub? You didn't actually pin me. My shoulders weren't down. That was screwed up. You're the champ. I don't know how. But you know what? I'm back. And I want my title that it should still rightfully be mine. And then she'll end up getting beat down.
Sasha will come back for Becky.
But from Becky and actually
Women's
get pinned
division.
correctly or
Well, women's division's a mess.
get tapped out.
If you look at the women's division, it's like we were looking at the other day. There's so many women that are
Ooh,
injured.
Ronda versus Baszler, that'd be a good match too.
I mean, if you look at all the women that are injured right now,
There are so
it's
many.
like you have like half the
I
roster
know.
hurt.
That's part of. Okay, we're gonna talk about this now because that's part of the thing. So tonight they name dropped her so much in that segment. They were like, "Oh, Natalia, you said that you were going to help train Ronda to beat me in my match at WrestleMania. But guess what? I walked out with this. So you didn't do a good job there." And then, you keep talking about how Ronda was your friend and you guys did this, that, and the other thing and blah, blah, blah. Like, they name dropped her so much. And I was like, man, she's got to show up. Like, that just makes sense. And then she didn't, and I was like, darn.
I agree.
Because that would have been a good spot.
Injuries are
Have her, name drop, and then she just, boom, her music hits, and she just, shows up.
injuries have been a huge part of the problem. I think, but I think if they would use the wrestlers correctly, you could rotate enough that some of these injuries may not happen. Or
James.
you get people time off and you have someone ready to step up and be your next big superstar if necessary. So when Becky wins, Ronda shows up on stage, might not have a match for a while, but it build-ups. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd be cool with that.
Shane, stop.
That's how you know Natalia's winning at SummerSlam.
I just don't see it happening. I'm sorry. I won't see it happening. I just don't. I'm sorry. So then we get the next segment. Kelly 24/7 champion. She walks up to Candice Michelle, and they're like, "Oh yeah, look, I won the 24/7 championship." And blah, 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 blah. And then Candice Michelle kicked her, and Melina, who was also standing there, she was like, "Oh yeah, I've been getting my degree." And she was like, "A degree in what?" And then she pulled her jacket off and was like, she had a referee shirt on, and she was like, "In reffing." And then Candice Michelle kicked her, and she got pinned. So that's the 5th title change in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Then we have another title change, guys, because Candice doesn't. I wrote down she get. Candice taps out to Alundra Blaze. And so
that whole segment, I don't know exactly what was going on.
oh my gosh, this was horrible. Alundra Blaze totally screwed this up.
I was confused by that whole segment.
She totally screwed this up. She said something about, "Oh yeah, I'm now the 24 champion, and if anybody has anything to say about it, come say it to my face because I'm not gonna be champ for very long," or something like that. And I was like, "What?" And then all I could do was laugh because I had no clue what I even just watched. Because I was like, huh?
Yeah, like I said, that whole segment
She screwed that up big time.
confused me.
Alundra Blaze, totally. No, it made perfect sense. I don't know, it just kind of confused me, man. I have a friend. About what? I have a friend that knows Dave Meltzer. I can find out for sure. Oh.
She was acting like she didn't care about it.
I guess.
So then why did she go for it?
I don't know. It made no so she could throw it in the trash can later. I guess. I don't know. It made no sense though. So that's the 6th.
I guess that's where it makes sense. Is she said I'm not gonna have this for long. She knew she was coming out to throw it in the trash, and then DiBiase comes out and says, "Hey, I'll pay you for that."
I guess
that makes sense.
I suppose, but in the long run, the 24 championship, I had no clue I knew what she was talking about, but it's like, what? Well, that was kind of confusing. I knew when she said
makes sense.
that garbage can was coming out. So yeah, that happened. That's the 6th title change in an hour and a half. So then we get Sami Zayn versus so many callbacks. So then we get Sami versus Ray, and Coachman. Jonathan Coachman was on commentary. I like Coachman. The coach is great.
Definitely, Elijah.
I think it was good. I like him on commentary a lot. So, buying the title up. Yeah. Yeah. So I thought all the legends that came out after this match, Sami was getting ready to walk out. And then Rob Van Dam's music hit. And nobody was expecting him to be there. And they just kind of went they were like, "Oh my gosh, that's so crazy." Coach is great when he's into it. Otherwise, he doesn't know it. I mean, I do agree with that. I think Coach is great most of the time when he knows what's going on.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, his phone. I know what you were saying, Medusa.
Yeah.
The title. I got it. WCW.
We got it. We follow.
Yeah, I'm pretty smart.
Not Marissa.
Medusa.
But whoever you want to call her.
Oh, I'm gonna watch Ms. and Mrs. tomorrow night. I actually really like that show.
James, I'm gonna be honest. I've probably only watched about 25 minutes of Ms. and Mrs.
Yeah, that was about what was on the television, right about now. Not right about now, but right a little bit ago when I had the sneak peek.
I have never watched
I do like it.
A full.
Coach
is greater than Renee. I agree.
Yeah, no, RVD showed up, and that was a good surprise. And then we had Sergeant Slaughter and Hurricane Helms and Kurt Angle, who came out to corner Sami Zayn, and he had no choice but to walk back in the ring to then get squashed by Ray. Ray hit the 619, and the match was over. So.
Yeah, definitely.
So, that was cool. Then we get Street Profits backstage. Impact tweeted about RVD right after he showed up. Whoa. That's funny. So, Street Profits segment. I thought this was one of the weaker ones that they've had recently. There was no "We want the smoke."
Well, there's only so much they can do.
We want the smoke.
And
we want the smoke. We want the smoke.
I
love this segment. It's not gonna lie, guys. It's catchy, and I was saying it the whole time right before we got started.
Okay, but this is starting to get
It is. They need to get in the ring.
Do something.
They need to get in the ring is what they need to do. Well, but I don't see them getting in the ring until after TakeOver. In which 100%.
We should treat Renee a little better.
I 100% am believing they are losing the titles to Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
Because that match, my gosh, it took a long time to get that out of my head. I had to think about who it was.
Yeah.
No, that title match was announced. They are losing the titles to Undisputed Era.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Dawkins. For a second there, Dawkins, I was like,
chilling with RVD.
Yeah, I thought that was funny too. Dawkins was like, oh, yeah. And then Montez Ford was standing there. They were like, he's like, you did? You what? When did you do this? I can't believe you. And I wasn't invited? What kind of garbage is this? I thought it was funny. They really are good on the mic. They really are. Their promos are gold.
Well, they are, but I mean, they need to start doing something with them.
They do. I agree with that. They need to get them in the ring. I mean, I get,
Yeah.
Street Profits, they really are. The future of the tag team division is right there.
I just wish they'd start using them.
Them and Undisputed Era.
And I understand they're probably going to wait until after they lose the
titles. On August 10th. Day before SummerSlam.
Yes.
Wait, is that right? I think that's right. August 10th. And then SummerSlam is the 11th.
Yeah.
I think. Could be wrong. Don't remember. But they are going to lose him. They just are. Now, the only person that doesn't have a title match from Undisputed Era is Roderick, and I see that happening, and they are all walking out with gold.
Yeah.
hmm Now, then the question after that would be, do they move Dream up? The fans need to see Montez Ford Splash. They do.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
it's sickening
Yeah,
in a good way.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, they are already called up. They just need to lose their NXT titles. They can't do anything with them until they do.
Since they're not doing anything with them.
That's the way they do it with all of their NXT. Like, I swear, that's the way they've done it the last several times when they move tag teams up
Yeah.
from NXT. They're the champs, and then they call them up, and then they don't do anything with them until they lose the belts. And then, if you're the Viking Raiders, you get a name change.
14 times.
Is Dream still hurt? I have no idea. He hasn't been on TV in weeks.
Well, that's because, everything is...
Well, I understand that it's pre-taped, but he hasn't
Street
even
Profits
he
is
hasn't
what
even
it
been
is.
at the tapings.
Well, the problem is, James, the Usos always fight the Revival.
A Street Profits versus Usos is going to be an epic match. Oh, I agree.
Oh,
At least they are
definitely.
showing the titles,
Yeah.
unlike what they did with the War Raiders.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they brought the War Raiders up, they changed their names, no one had a clue who they were, and they didn't even have their championships with them. They were like, oh yeah, they're the NXT Tag Team Champions, and I was like, what? Where are their belts?
Yeah.
Fools.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, that was, like, dumb.
Maybe they learned from their mistake.
Maybe. I don't know, man. So that was all that segment. And then we get the Alundra Blaze segment. She comes out and she gets ready to throw the 24/7 belt in the trash. Then the $1 Million Man comes out and buys the belt off of her. Another title change, guys. $1 Million Man laugh. $1 million. No. The $1 Million Man's laugh is unlike anybody else's. Like, it just gets you.
Yeah.
It's, like, so iconic. Sorry. It's so iconic at this point.
Yeah, no, it's not iconic. Don't even compare.
It's so iconic. And, it's very...
Hey, dude,
Hey,
Anthony.
what's up? It really is the greatest. Like, nothing can
Yes.
compare to it.
That's what was cool.
Like, it honestly, it gave me chills. I was like, bro, like, jeez.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
I haven't watched old stuff in a long time. Like, it's been several months.
Yeah.
And so, like, I haven't, like, listened to anybody's anything. And so, it's very cool to listen to it. You know, it is very iconic.
I'm gonna have to blow up, like...
That would have been good. That would have been good. Everyone has a price. Yes, they do. So the belt was bought off of Alundra. So that was fun. Then we got Seth versus AJ.
The only thing that would have made it better is if he had Virgil go pin Alundra.
Oh, it really would have been good.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. You know
Thanks.
what's the greatest? Thumbs up for the Wrestle Story. Yeah, I mean, it really is.
You know what's the greatest is the fans that come in and watch our show.
Yeah, Shane. You're the greatest. The greatest Shane I've ever known. Probably one of the only Shanes that I've ever known, because I don't think I know anybody else named Shane. So, you know, aside from Shane McMahon, but he doesn't even compare. So, you know, just gotta be honest. I'm spitting facts.
Yeah.
Like John Cena in the Thugonomics, you know. Or I do better at that Becky promo. With the what? No?
Yeah.
Whatever. You know, I'm better at that than I am at actually beatboxing.
Kind of disappointed Rick Bischoff was
Yeah.
Oops.
Bischoff, I don't know.
Thanks
He
for
didn't
the
really
visuals.
have like a huge part in the show.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It was a little, I don't know. It was a little disappointing. Just a bit.
I'm trying to figure out what Export's trying to say there. Kind of disappointed Rick Bischoff was won the show. And
What?
then he put want.
Want one.
I have no clue what he's saying.
I don't know.
Export,
I
what are
feel
you-
like it could have.
What are you trying to say there?
I think it could have done a little more if that's what he's trying to get at. Like, because where he was only in half, like, not even a full segment.
Well, I think considering he's SmackDown, I think it's more. No problem. Yeah, and that's why I think there's just he's getting out there that hey, I am here, and
Watch out.
Things are going to start to change.
I think that probably...
Which is why he goes, hey, you could always come to SmackDown.
Yeah, he told Maria that. He was like, you know what? He doesn't want to be on screen. I keep screwing up.
Oh.
Yeah, he meant on. Wasn't on the show.
Wasn't on the show.
Sorry, guys. I'm trying to mess with my sock. There was, like, something poking me in the foot, and it was kind of... It hurt. So I had to get it out. Says that Jamrel has been run into the frowned. Has been run into the frowned. Frowned.
Yeah,
the
I
frowned
agree.
ground.
Yeah.
That's
Everything
okay.
else he should have come out with.
NWODX.
That would have been cool.
It would have been cool. So, speaking of that, we get the Seth versus AJ. And the club attempts to help AJ, but then
It's the OC. Come on. Get it right.
The OC, whatever. The club, I consider Gallows and Anderson the club, and then AJ Styles. Because, like, if AJ's in a single match, I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, Seth versus OC. Like, what does that even mean?
Well, it's the OC.
That makes no sense, okay? Anyways, you can call it that. I'm still calling it AJ and the club.
All right.
So, anyways, the club attempts to help AJ. And then D-Generation X was like, no, not today.
Anderson hasn't had MG on his game. Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was. So DX comes out to help Seth. Guys, I will not be able to be
Predictions
here.
saying enrolled North Carolina meet Becky at Comic Con, getting message.
Cool.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Original club sandwich.
Yeah, I like that better. Original club sandwich.
Well, James, if you're not here for the predictions, I assume that's what you're saying. Is that what he's saying?
For SummerSlam?
Yeah.
I would assume so.
Then, you can always tweet him to Maven.
Yeah.
Or, like, jump in and put under our prediction show, jump into YouTube and put it on there. So.
What's the OC? It's a TV show now. People get confused.
Yeah.
So, the club attempts to help AJ. D-Generation X comes out to help Seth. The match ends in a DQ. Jeez, can't speak. Disqualification. Then they, are gonna like attack each other, and then the OC grabs chairs, and then corners Triple H, HBK, and Seth. But stop there, because then Road Dogg, Jesse James, D-O-double-G. I don't even think that's how he does his entrance anymore. And X-Pac. And Kevin Nash. And Scott Hall.
Oh, definitely. He's good on the mic. I loved how he was like, oh, and then Billy, and then that makes 8 of us.
I thought that was hilarious,
or
'cause he was
whatever.
like-
I'm not good at math.
He was like shining down on us, telling
Yeah.
us, this, that, and the other thing, and y'all ain't gonna do nothing. And there are seven of us against 3 of you. But wait, no, sorry, I forgot about Billy. And then he looked at Kevin, and it was like, math is hard.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious. And so then they come out to save their butts.
Well, I think he just came out and started ranting, like his little spiel, and then realized, Steiner math.
I love his stuff. I swear to you, I feel like Billy Gunn was there.
Yes.
I think it's hilarious. The fact that, even though Billy is in AEW, like Road Dogg is like, he's still here.
Yeah.
He's still a part of it, D-Generation
Yeah.
X. He's never going to be a part of D-Generation X. Like, I mean, they brought him back for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that means something. And I feel like AEW is open enough. They're like, okay, you want to go over there? Like, Jim Ross got an invite, and I feel like Jim Ross just turned it down.
Well,
Because of whatever. But I feel like AEW would almost be like, okay, go ahead.
they might
like,
be right now, but
I
after
don't
they start
care.
having their shows, we'll see what happens.
I agree with that. After their show gets, off the ground,
Definitely gold.
they'll probably
definitely good on the
reconsider
mic.
that. But I think right now they're just kind of like, well, whatever, sure. if you get an offer, go do it. Wear your AEW jacket for why don't you? Never fly with Vince.
Yeah, that's what, I wonder if they did ask him.
I wonder if they did too.
Yes, Bubba Dudley did turn it down.
He did, and I mean, I said X-Pac looked confused.
Yeah, I don't think he had a clue.
No.
I
just love
The funny thing is sometimes I listen to the on Sirius XM
Busted Open.
Busted Open with
I listen to it all the time.
and
Bully Ray.
They were talking to Bully Ray about his invite, and I don't think he ever really gave an answer as to why
No.
he wasn't going.
But he just said that he declined it.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Also need to talk about that in a little bit. There was a whole situation. If you guys don't have Twitter and you live under a rock, you've probably missed it. Mark Henry said some things that certain stands did not agree with, and so we're going to also have a little chat about that when we get to the women's segment.
It's going to be a Maven rant.
Well, not necessarily, because I feel like stuff kind of got
Which is funny that he didn't just
resolved.
that he didn't just come out and say that. It was, well, I just didn't accept the invite.
Yeah. I felt like if they were just
I mean,
if they weren't going to have both Deadlies, then I felt like they just shouldn't have had it either.
Because I knew he
any
was
of
doing
them.
some Impact stuff. I just think that the fact that he didn't just go, well, I'm busy with this other, working with Impact, and so I didn't have time to go, to the reunion.
Yeah.
He just kind of was like, I just declined it.
I just wasn't feeling like going.
Yeah.
So then we get Maverick.
Yeah.
And he finally wins his 24/7 title back. Another notch on the paper there. Guys. Then we get
I don't know if he posted about it on Twitter or not. I might have missed that part.
I
know on the show he was like, didn't really say why he wasn't going. It was more just
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
declining.
Sure, James. After the whole match card is released, I can for sure tweet you
We'll do that,
to get
James.
your predictions. I will totally do that. Sounds good. As soon as we get all the matches, and with our luck, they'll probably announce 2 more matches. The day of SummerSlam.
That's okay. James will change his answer 15 times, so you're good.
So then we get the Mick Foley segment, guys. Guys, when I am telling you this is how you do something, this is how you do it. Now I know you were kind of like, well, I don't. Questionable. This was gold. This saved the show. This was good. If you're trying to get somebody over, this was good. So Mick Foley comes out and he's like, well, I've had a lot of moments here on Raw, and this and that have happened, and I was totally waiting. I was waiting for this to happen. What happened? I was waiting for it to happen. I was like, who's it gonna be? Because it has to be somebody, right? And so he then plays this video package of him won the WWE Championship, and he had DX holding him up, and they were all like, oh my gosh, woohoo! And the screen started to fizzle out and do that creepy weird thing like what happened last week for Finn. And then the video stopped. Dude, I'm getting chills talking about it again. Why is this happening? Because it was so good. Then the video stops, and the same thing that happened to Finn last week happened again. The lights started to flicker. We started to get that ha 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 ha, that screeching noise. And then it just went dark, and we got back up. And then we saw Bray's face, and I was like, oh my gosh. People were saying, dude, if you want to get Bray over, he needs to attack somebody, whether it's Mick Foley, whether it's Hulk Hogan, whether it's whoever. He needed to attack somebody. And my gosh, he did. Lights came back on. Mick Foley's standing there. He's like, and Bray is standing there. He's like, hello. And then he got the mandible claw. He shoved it in his face. And then he went down. And I was like, this was gold. This literally just showed nobody is safe at all.
I mean, this was
Not Finn, who is a regular superstar, and not even a legend. Mick Foley. No one is safe.
Here's the thing, okay? I thought this was okay. I mean, it was cool. the only thing I said was I would rather have had him do it to like Stone Cold Steve Austin or somebody like that.
I felt like this was so good because Mick Foley's a big deal.
Well, he is, but I mean, you know, when I think of Mick
Like-
Foley right now, like Mick Foley has trouble getting around and stuff like that. And as a legend, I understand.
Like looking at it in that
That's
aspect,
why I
like
thought
this
if
was
you
so
have him
good.
do it, if you have him to do it to someone like Stone Cold, who's still can kind of get around, then you know he gets over that much more. And with the way they ended the show, if they would have had the lights go out with everybody standing there, and then have Stone Cold get stunned, I think that would have been like, whoa, he did this right in front of everybody.
Mick was taking a moment he didn't have his teeth in. That's funny. Bray was the only guy that got over tonight, and that was it. That just is facts. He's the only person that got over tonight, and that's just the way it is. This, I thought, was excellent. Like, I literally sat here, and I was watching this, and I was, like, waiting. I was like, who's he going to attack? Is he going to attack somebody tonight? Who's it going to be? Like, if he's doing it, who's it going to be? And I was trying to figure it out in my head, like, I just have no idea. Like, Finn So, my next question would be, are they doing Finn versus Finn? I said this earlier. I said Finn versus Demon. No. Demon versus Fiend at SummerSlam then. If he's just going to go around and attack everybody, then is it truly going to be Demon versus Fiend at SummerSlam? Or is it going to be some other match? I feel like that makes sense, and then you have Demon leave.
I don't know.
So that's kind of my question now, and that leaves it up in the air. As to, like I said, like, nobody is safe. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, you're not safe. I thought that was an excellent segment.
Yeah.
I really did. I actually didn't want to see...
I'll be curious to see what they say. I actually want to see the big Hogan on my TV.
The Hurt and Heel gloves were shown plainly. I'm guessing the heel will add people to the stable or new family.
If it's a normal Finn and Bruce Bray, it'll be straight up squash match.
It's gonna be.
I agree.
It's going to be the Fiend versus Demon. It just has to be.
Yeah, they're pretty creepy. It's pretty cool though. I think.
Like, his mask is the coolest thing.
It'd be a great Halloween mask.
It really would. They should make a costume and sell it on the WWE shop.
Definitely.
People would probably buy it.
Yeah.
People would go around and scare people. Like.
Yeah, I mean
it would be funny if people were to film videos. Because, you know, there are, like, those videos out there, like, oh, I'm going to scare this person or whatever, I'm going to do whatever. Like, there would be a ton of videos.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool mask.
It really is. So, dude, I thought this was, like, best segment on the show, by far.
Yeah, it was definitely cool.
Because, I don't know, man, just the fact that he attacked Mick Foley, and it was, like, he's a legend, and I think he will. He has to wrestle in the
That'll
mask.
be interesting to see if he decides he's going to wear the mask while he's wrestling.
He has to. Otherwise, it loses the charm.
I don't need the mask. I just look
Oh, Shane. Yeah, no, I feel like he has to wrestle in the mask.
Yeah,
like,
probably.
to keep with the character, I
I mean,
think he has to.
he's
And
gonna
it
keep
looks
the
like it's
character, so
built
he has
up
to.
enough where it's more so around the upper portion of his face, and then it, like, wraps around his head, where it's kind of like that, like, mandible claw, jeez, mankind kind of a mask.
Yeah.
Where it's like that tighter fitting, more, it's gonna stick to your head and it's not gonna go anywhere type of a situation.
I think he will wrestle in the mask.
I think he has to.
Yeah, he'd almost have to if he's going to be that character. Becky's better than all of Becky.
James. So yeah, this is gold. Like, I thought this was great.
Like I said, I didn't mind it. The only thing I wish is it would have been done to, like, Stone Cold Steve Austin at the end.
You can do it to Stone Cold, though. Like,
if you want him to get over really big, then you do it.
well, I think he got over really big anyways.
I mean, it was
Like,
okay.
he's new, and, like, I mean, it wasn't like last week where everybody was like, ah. That was like totally.
That's why I think you would have had I mean, coming out to Mick Foley because he's, like, you know, your hardcore guy. So, you know, doing it to Mick Foley wasn't like, oh wow, I can't believe they just did that to Mick Foley.
Well, who's he gonna be next week? Though?
Well, if they would have done it to Stone Cold, I would have. Whoa.
Who's he gonna be next week?
I don't know.
I don't either. Is he gonna attack someone next week?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Like, I'm really curious.
Wait and see what happens.
I think he's gonna be so good. Like, it's gonna be so good.
Then we have Moment of Bliss with Becky.
Should have been Christian. So, like I said, this segment was good, I thought. Question, why don't y'all have a show dedicated
James,
to Becky?
I will never do a show that's just dedicated to Becky. I'm sorry.
You're sorry.
She might, but I will never do that.
He's sorry. Yeah, no, this segment was like, I thought it was good. I think there's more build up to the Natalya-Becky match. Still not like, whoop-de-dinkle-doo, Becky versus Natalya at SummerSlam, awesome. I think we'll maybe get there. It just kind of depends. So, Becky comes out first, and Alexa starts to ask her questions, and, we don't speak of Lacey on here anymore. She's not on TV regularly anymore. She's been on TV for the last 3 months. It's enough, Lacey. We're done with her. She needs to go back to NXT. So then Natalya comes out and she's like, if Becky has something to say to me, then Becky can say it to my face. And then, she stood up and was like, well. Okay then. You want to sit here and talk about, you know, Natalya started talking about how, you know, you don't ever pay any respect to me or anything like that, and I built the... She was at an anti-bully program.
Yeah, I saw where she
did see that.
tweeted. She tweeted out some stuff.
All the stuff she does outside of WWE. See, I don't even know what program that is. Everything she does outside of WWE is like it's really cool, and you know that's cool. In the ring and stuff, I just don't like her. I just don't like her character.
Yeah, we know.
I'm sorry, guys. I just don't. So anyways,
Moment of Bliss should be longer. I think one of the issues you have with the Moment of Bliss, it seems like
somebody interrupts it.
I was going to say, every time Alexa starts to talk, then...
They're all like, well, Alexa,
there
shut
ends up
up.
being a fight, and they tell her to shut up.
Chaos, I'm going to get to that. So Natalya's like, oh, well, you never pay any respect to me. We've known each other for forever. We've wrestled each other forever. And you pay no respect to me for paving the way for this women's division. You think it was built up all by you. And she's like, well, guess what, sweetie? It wasn't. And then Becky goes on and about...
female Alexa gimmick. Definitely.
Alexa is better promo than...
Definitely that, too.
Then Becky talks about how... You know, Natalya helped Ronda, who was supposed to be your competitor, and we're supposed to be friends or whatever, but you were going to help my opponent try and beat me at WrestleMania in the main event. Like, that's not what friends do, okay? So we're not doing that anymore. We're not friends, bub. I'm not going to be your friend going into SummerSlam. Not happening. And then she talks more about Ronda and how she helped her and she was her friend or whatever. And this is why I was like, geez, are they going to bring Ronda out here? Because that just, they're name dropping her so much. And with those stupid articles that WWE is like, oh, does WWE need, the women's division need Ronda Rousey? Like, they're bringing her back. They just are. I just have a feeling they are.
I'm sure they are.
And it'll probably be at SummerSlam.
Nadia is solid in ring, but character-wise, she is boring. I agree. She has an issue with like cutting. I think her promo this week was better than last week's.
Well,
I don't want to say she's like terrible at promos.
She's not terrible, but it's like.
But it's like monotone, and
it's kind
just
of hard. Like there are some times where she was like last week. She was like, "Oh, I'm gonna whoop you in the ring," like where I felt like she should have been like, "I'm gonna whoop you in the ring," you know, like to get her point across. I don't know. They kind of showed the replay of it, and I was just kind of like, oh, some of those just fell flat, and it's hard to. It's almost like an AJ promo where it's kind of hard to listen to just because it is so flat and so monotone. I don't know. She just needs to like add some life to her promos or something.
And I agree, Alexa is a better promo than most.
She does.
James is sick of it. If it was up to James, it would just be Becky every week. But then there'd be no women's division at all. Becky wouldn't have a title because she wouldn't need it. She'd be a manager. I agree.
I agree, export. I do agree. I prefer Alexa being on a talk show than in the ring. I do agree. I need you to scroll up here so I can read Chaos's comment from a little bit ago to kind of go back to that. Thanks. So then they trash talk some more, and then they fight each other. They were like, oh no, no more of this. And the crowd was like, let them fight, let them fight, let them fight. I agree. Like, I hate when the refs come out like right away. I'm like, bro, let them fight for a minute before you break it up. I mean, come on. Stupid. So anyways, going back. Sorry, right there. I need to read it. Chaos said, unless this is Natty's farewell tour, we all know she's not winning. Just a way to bring back Ronda. Yes. I would say so. Don't know. I'm Becky Triller on Twitter now.
We figured.
Bow down,
James.
peasants.
We
and
figured.
Becky up. Well, I'm not gonna bow down. I will Becky up though. So yeah. Okay. Now,
Yeah, I think Becky needs to lose. I mean, I think that's to help out the women's division. Sorry. You can be a Becky fan all you
With
want to.
her-
If you want the women's division to
Okay.
build up, then you better have her lose.
unless
Otherwise, don't sit here
no,
and
no,
talk
no, no,
about they
no,
don't put women on
no,
TV.
No. Shh. 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 Unless they are truly going to do what Chaos and I have been talking about with the fact that they bring Ronda back. And they have her face off with Becky after she's retained her title. And Ronda's like, hey, 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 now you bow down, peasant. Because you didn't actually beat me at WrestleMania and I want my title back.
Yeah, I guess.
I've had time to
That's-
think about what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to run away like a baby like I
don't
have
know.
at my last.
Again, all you're
several
focusing on is two
businesses.
wrestlers, two women's wrestlers, and everybody else gets stuffed in the back.
Well,
That and
I mean,
Charlotte.
I don't know what to do.
Well, you can't sit here and
Build
talk
the
about.
women's division
you
up,
can't
but
sit here
I
and talk
just
about
have
the
a
women's
feeling
division if
with
you're
what
not
they're
gonna
doing.
do
No,
it.
this is not what I would love to happen. I
That
don't
would
want
kill
Ronda to
everything.
come
Yeah.
back.
The only
But
issue,
I just have a feeling with how much they're name dropping her right now, with how much they're mentioning Ronda, how much have they mentioned Ronda in the last,
I agree.
not including this month.
She's coming back.
How much have
but, I
they
mean, I think
mentioned
it's
her
gonna
in
kill
the
everyone.
last, like, 3 months? Like, since WrestleMania.
Mhm.
They haven't mentioned her, like, at all until
Yep.
now. Why is that? Probably because she's showing up at SummerSlam and she's gonna whoop Becky. Okay, actually, I don't want to see the title put back on her. I want to see Becky beat her so then she can be like, haha,
if I do have the
sucker.
power, those women's tag belts are going. I agree. I don't know that the women's tag belts right now are.
Needed?
Part of the problem with the women's tag belts is, again, you have a lot of injuries that are hurting some of that.
I was so mad last week when
And
the
there are-
stupid
there
Iconics
aren't-
retained their stupid titles.
There are not.
Because it was stupid.
There are not very
They
many.
did their whole heel business where they ran outside the ring and they were like,
It's part of the
Oh,
show.
we can get counted out.
That's
I
why they
understand
did
that.
it.
But I just hate that the belts are still on them. Because it's doing nothing. If you put the belts on
It is,
Asuka and
too.
Kyrie,
It
no,
did-
it
it did
really
every-
isn't.
What?
I hate them now.
Okay, think about
And
this.
I don't want to see the belts
Think
on the
about this.
Iconics ever again.
Think about this.
I understand. They're
Think
doing their
about
job.
this.
You pull this up every time and I get
well, a week later, and you're still talking about it.
it. Because of what
they
happened
did
last
their
week on
job.
SmackDown.
That would kill everything. What was I going to say? Oh, Natty wins, and those. Back to the tag belts. I think the issue with the tag belts right now is with a lot of the women being hurt.
James.
It kind of kills some of that.
And they're doing their job.
See?
I
Shane-
know.
Shane
I
agrees with me.
understand this. I get it. I understand. This is why I hate Lacey. This
James,
is why I hate the Iconics.
I'm going to remind you, I'm never just having a show dedicated to Becky. She might.
Okay.
I won't.
Anyways, continuing on, talking about Becky some more. So, Mark Henry made some lovely comments on Busted Open Radio, and I need to get everybody's thoughts because I have my thoughts. And he essentially called her character that she has now arrogant, and that she does not fight for the fans anymore. So, thought number one. I talked to you about this like the day after I listened to it. And I was like, how is she arrogant? That's what I'd like to know. Because I think of it more as confidence in the fact that she has been. If you wanted her. Okay, first. If you wanted her to be more of an underdog character, okay, and fight for the fans more, then why didn't she drop the title the first time she defended it? And then she'd have to go right back down to square one, where she's going to be the underdog once again and have to build her way back up to get the title.
I don't know. I mean,
What would the purpose of that be?
though,
Second thing is, how can you consider her character right now as being arrogant? I don't look at it as arrogance. I see it as confidence, and that's what a lot of people see it as. It's not arrogance. And like, when you look at her up against somebody like Charlotte or Lacey, who is arrogant, that's as arrogant as you can get. She has to bring some sort of arrogance to the table because she's not just going to sit there and get mowed over by the both of them.
Mark Henry's a tool.
So, like, I don't see how her character is being arrogant. Like I said, I look at it as more of confidence.
She's
Being
not a Becky
confident
fan
in
of
what she's
character.
saying and that
She should've
she's
been
going to back it all up when she gets in the ring.
Entire time instead of at the end of them fighting, they're trying to make her cut promos like Conor McGregor. Yeah.
Sorry, James, Mark Henry is not a tool. I don't think of him as a tool. I just don't think these comments were very smart. He got attacked. Like, Becky fans came out and attacked him.
Well, yeah, they're going to. Because
Um,
Becky could, like, do no wrong.
well, and I don't see it as being arrogant. I look at it as confidence.
Well, if you're looking at...
And if you look at who she's been put up against in
Okay,
the
but
last
here's the
3
thing.
months, she's been put up against Charlotte and Lacey, who are the most arrogant females in the whole division. So what is she going to do? She's going to stand there and be mowed over by the both of them? No. She's got to bring something to the table so she can
Well,
fight back against
okay, but
them.
here's the thing, is
Like, she's
if-
not going to just stand there and get blown over.
if, you know, Becky is AEW, WWE. If she had...
Mark Henry is a tool. How
I
dare you
think one of the
disrespect
issues she
him.
has is with him saying that is it used to be, or it seemed to that she was doing things more for the fans rather than doing for herself.
I can understand that.
And now it seems like it's more for herself than for the fans,
I guess,
as far
yeah.
as her character goes.
I definitely think so. But I don't think her character is arrogant in the least bit. Now, what I find even funnier is the fact that Bully Ray got on the show Monday morning, and he talked to Dave LaGreca, and he was like, man, you've been ripped apart on Twitter.
Here's a question. What are the Becky fans going to do when she turns heel?
We're still going to cheer for her. Like, there's going to be no difference. Can you blame us, Becky
what
fans?
do you think Becky would have ever gotten this over if Conor McGregor wasn't so popular?
He just said it wrong. Yeah.
I think Becky got over because she got hit in the nose and like had blood everywhere. That's why Becky got over.
He clarified on Twitter. Yeah. Bully Ray then came on.
That's ultimately how Becky got over is because she would have never. I don't think she'd be as big as she is now.
She wouldn't have been as
If
big as
she-
she
if
was,
she-
but you make it sound like she wasn't over at all before she got her nose punched.
Just think about what happened after she had her nose punched and there was blood everywhere and she
No, and
continued
I
to
get
fight.
that. I understand that totally.
But
I get that.
It wasn't
No,
near
but
what
you-
it is now.
No, and I
And
understand
then after
that.
that,
I understand
and-
that. I'm not going
and-
to deny that she got
and-
super big after she broke her face.
and the fact
did.
that, everybody, turned Ronda Rousey into this evil person that came from MMA and
Ruined the women's division.
yeah.
Mhm.
And so
Well,
you had that with
she
the
may or
fact
may not
that,
have.
that Becky Lynch had her nose broke and had blood everywhere and continued to go on with her thing. Outside, if that wouldn't have happened, I don't think she'd be where she is now.
I agree with you. Now, the thing is,
I think that
Becky
Becky
got
got.
over
I think that
because
is
Charlotte
part
got
of
hurt.
why she got over. But I think that
Well,
her getting hit in the
no,
nose helped
you-
out a lot.
you also make it sound like she wasn't over before she got her nose broke, and she was. She was beginning to get over with the fans. When she broke her nose, when her nose got broken, I
Yes,
do
I
agree
agree.
with that.
She
No
was
Ronda,
that
they
character,
were no Ronda.
but
There
I-
would have
I
been no main
think-
event at WrestleMania.
I think a lot of people, looked at after she had her nose broke. After that happened, a lot of people that were kind of on the fence of whether they're going to like Becky or dislike her,
they
kind of
did
that
kind of change their
wavering
mind
way.
because
They were
she
like,
broke
"Oh
her
man,
face
now
and
I'm
was
going to
like,
jump
oh.
on this bandwagon because she broke her face and she kept going and
I
there's
get
blood
that.
everywhere."
I get that. I totally understand that. But you, a lot of the time, make it sound like she wasn't over at all before
I
she
definitely
broke
gave
her
no
nose.
Ronda no main event at WrestleMania, which
That
is
is
sad
true.
because they could have done something with it. I think they could have done something with Becky
What's
and
even
Charlotte.
sadder about that is it wasn't even Becky wasn't even supposed to be in the main event to begin with. It was
Yeah.
supposed to be Charlotte and Ronda.
Yeah.
In a singles match. Like, that's what they were building up when Ronda came in.
Mm-hmm.
And then they didn't because Becky got her face broken and people liked her better. And they wouldn't have wanted to see Charlotte go for the Raw Women's Championship against Charlotte. So,
Yeah.
or against Ronda. Charlotte against Ronda in a singles match, the main event of WrestleMania. Nobody would have wanted to see that. So, they added Becky into the mix, which I understand.
Well, I don't think Ronda didn't ruin the women's division.
The way WWE booked the
The way
women's division
WWE did the
is
women's
what
division
ruined it.
is what ruined the women's
Ronda
division.
just happened to be there to take all the fall for it because she's the new person who came in and they used her a bunch.
Yeah.
It's like the whole situation with Lacey. Like, everybody can, even myself included, I sit here and say Lacey is horrible. She is horrible in the ring. Why is she horrible in the ring? Because WWE put her in that position. But regular, normal fans do not look at it that way. They look at the person, whoever is portraying the character, is at fault. So because Ronda was there, and the women's division, after she left, got horrible, and it hasn't been good ever since, and the women's division was, I mean, it was like fine when she was there, because they were using the women, which was good, but they, you know, they only used the women because of Ronda. And so they looked at Ronda as this bad guy because she was a champion, and she, you know, nobody liked her, and so she took all the fall for that. The same thing with Lacey. When she's horrible in the ring, Lacey takes the fall for that, not WWE, because that's just the way people look at it.
In fact, she didn't make the division more legit. No. I think she helped in the sense that because she was more mainstream.
Yeah, she drew eyes.
And so I think that helped out.
Mm-hmm.
The-
I
but
still
the
get so salty about
here's
this when I talk about this with
the problem.
Evolution, with the match. Because of Ronda's name, because she's going to draw people in, they put her in the main event of that freaking pay-per-view against Nikki Bella, and it should have been the Becky versus Charlotte last woman standing match. It just should have been. But because of Ronda's name, they put her in the main event, and I was, like, so mad. Because that match was so good. Like, they, like, killed each other.
They did.
Becky and Charlotte literally killed each other, and that should have been the main event. But it wasn't because of Ronda's name.
Well, you know, she was given.
And so that made me a little bit mad. I was
she was
like,
given a top
man.
spot because she was a famous fighter.
Mhm.
She was the W. Well, the problem is, it's like now, they're not. The WWE is not pushing anybody. You have the Becky storyline, and Charlotte Flair's kind of off right now. So,
Lord.
so there's been no push for anybody. And if you're not going to push anybody, it's like the tag team division. If you're not going to push it, nobody's going to care.
Mm-hmm.
The women's division, nobody's pushed it. Nobody cares. So I think that's where you're hurt. I mean, yes, Ronda helped bring legitimacy to it, but the fact that you
she
saw the
brought
Ronda
eyes.
out there every week,
That was the issue.
you see Ronda out there every
That
week.
was the issue. That's why people sit here. That's why James is sitting here saying Ronda buried the entire women's division, is the fact that she was out there every week. They put the championship on her.
Okay, but she didn't bury it because
No,
people
she
came and
didn't-
watched.
she
because
didn't
they wanted to
bury
see
it.
what was going to happen.
But you know what I mean? Like, certain people looked at it that way as being like, okay, well, she's burying the women's division because she's literally the only
But at
the
that
only
time,
person
when she
that's
was
on.
there, the thing is, when she was there, they should have been trying to build other people up.
They should have, but they didn't. So I don't want to see.
I
Nikki
agree.
versus
I think you
Ronda.
have to start to get some of these other people involved. If you want the division to survive and you want it to become legit, then you have to bring it up.
Mhm. Yeah, it is.
I agree.
That's
Elijah.
not
I mean,
Ronda's fault.
They did.
WWE, it's WWE. It is 100. But like I said, Ronda's there to take the
100%
fall
agree.
for everything, because that's the way people look at it.
Yeah, but that's the problem with WWE. I mean, right now that's why you have the issues WWE has.
I
Right
know,
now.
but the thing I'm saying here, this goes to creative and like their ideas.
Yes,
They're
but it's
stupid
not.
ideas.
It is, but it's not just the women's division. It's
No,
the
no,
men's
no, no,
division
no.
too.
I understand the whole show. Like, whoever is, we're sitting here, we could sit here and say that Roman Reigns is horrible right now because he just is. That's what just normal people would say. Like, looking at it though, why is Roman Reigns terrible? Because they keep putting him in this position where he's terrible.
Ronda,
Like, they need to give him a character change so he has something to grasp onto so people will actually like it.
Ronda had everyone's eyes on the women's title every week, and where isn't it? Well, who have they tried to push?
They haven't. But the thing is, like, they didn't push anybody when Ronda was in the division either. That's the problem. It was everybody goes up against Ronda, and Ronda beats the crap out of them,
Well, they were going
and
to
then
bring...
that was it.
But you had Charlotte Flair that they were going to have wrestle her, and so you got two big names right there.
They did. That's what they were planning for WrestleMania. But if I'm being honest, I wouldn't have cared because it's just Ronda versus Charlotte.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Is right now they have Becky and no one. They haven't tried to push anybody.
Mm-hmm. Becky got a push.
She started to get her push, and then after she broke her nose, she got over.
Yeah, they started giving her the push when they pushed Asuka too.
And then
Dude,
they pushed
okay,
Asuka to
I
the point
talked about this.
where she wrestled on the front of the card when she wrestled Becky.
She wrestled Becky.
I mean,
okay, so
and
I
then you
look
put
at
her
that
in
now.
like the dumps.
I look at this now, and I kind of think about this more because in the moment, you look at it and you're like, well, that was stupid for them to have Asuka have Becky tap out because that kind of puts a damper on the man persona, right? Yeah, it does. In a sense, I understand it because she was the champ at the time and they kind of had to let her get over too because if you had Becky squash her and win the title, well then, you never would have had Becky go and enter the Royal Rumble, who would have never then gone face-to-face with Ronda and said, oh, I want you at WrestleMania, would have never then had the whole stupid storyline of her having her messed up leg, would have then never had any of the storyline building up to WrestleMania, having Charlotte put in, having her taken out, getting suspended a billion times, and then they would have never gotten the main event, and it just would have never happened.
Yeah.
So...
I think
Asuka,
I agree.
in the long run, I think if you look at that, Asuka really did help.
I think Liv is going to get a push based on what we saw last week.
I hope so. I really do.
And I think
hope
she is
so.
getting a character change based on what we saw last week.
So I do kind of, I guess in a sense, thank Asuka for that because if Becky had one, she would have been SmackDown Women's Champ and would have just gone on living her life. She wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to fight in the Rumble because Lana couldn't. She wouldn't have done the WrestleMania thing. And it would have never happened.
I don't know. Just, I think you could push your women's division and push
Better.
wrestlers better. They just don't do it. But like I said, the same thing happens in the men's division, so it's not like it's just the women's division.
No, but it's, like I said, I've said this multiple times. We look at the women's division more because the women's division was doing so well and they were putting the women's division on TV
Well, now
when Ronda was a part of it. Now, I understand they were only pushing the same four people. I get that. But aside from that, the women were actually on TV and they had matches that were longer than 2 minutes. So that was nice. And we look at it now and we're like, wow, the women's division really sucks.
Are we off topic?
The women's division really sucks now.
Yes,
and they're getting 2-minute matches.
We slid off topic because
And-
Maven
I
had to have her rant.
I had to talk about the Mark Henry thing because I was like, I don't see how she can be arrogant. I look at it as confidence. And then I never even got to finish the story because we started talking about the women's division.
We need to
So anyways, getting back on topic here now.
We need to have I think maybe we should end our shows with Maven's rant so anybody that doesn't want to stick around can leave.
So anyways, Bully Ray, he made comments on Monday and was like, you know what, I understand you guys are getting ripped apart, but honestly, I think you kind of were in the wrong for saying it. Because you can't look at it.
Maven's rant show.
Look at it as being arrogant. It's called confidence. If you wanted her to be, if she was, like he even said, how can you look at her? How can you have her stand up against Charlotte or Lacey, who are two of the most arrogant people in your women's division right now? How can you have her stand up against there and then be a bored and take it and not say anything back and just be like, okay, you're right, I do suck. I'm horrible. Like, she kind of downplays herself a lot of the time.
Only 2 thumbs up.
I know. The Shane, you gotta make a couple accounts and give us some thumbs up. Like, is that legal? No, we're gonna say it's legal. So anyways, you can't have her just stand there and be a bored and have Charlotte, yelling at her saying, oh, you're horrible, oh, you're terrible. Do you want her to just take that? I see it as being confident in yourself and standing there saying, okay, you know what? I might not be the strongest. I might not be the biggest. I might not be the baddest. But guess what? I'm going to whoop you upside the head.
What do y'all think Eric will have in story for this? I don't know, James. It'll be interesting to see.
I don't see it as arrogance. I see it as confidence.
Good job. Where's Mickey? Yeah, where's Mickey James?
She just had an ACL
Yeah, I
surgery.
was gonna say she had her. Yeah.
Knee surgically
Yeah.
repaired. Injured. Yeah.
That's why I said like half or 3/4 of the women's division is hurt right now.
So, if you guys did not get my point, it is confidence, not arrogance. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but that's the way I see it. You can't have her just stand there and take it. Like, you just can't.
Are you still ranting?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Because I feel like I need people in the chat to be like, yeah, you're right, Maven. You're right.
Tell her she's right. So we can end this.
But
Whether
am
you
I
believe it or
right,
not, tell her
though?
she's right.
Am I not right, though? It's not arrogance. It's confidence. Because, like I said, you can't have Charlotte standing there telling her she's horrible and she's terrible and just have her be like, yeah, I am.
Why not?
Because you just can't. That makes no sense.
You could just, why?
Because you
Have
don't
her-
want her to combat that.
Have her actions speak louder than her words.
Well, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
see.
just think, like, when she stands there and she's like, okay,
Yep.
she's done this several times where she said, I'm not the biggest. I'm not the strongest. I'm not the baddest.
See, Export agrees with you.
Thank you.
Good
I don't
job,
think you're
expert.
being sincere, but that's okay. You know, she said it a billion times. I'm not the biggest. I'm not the baddest. I'm not the strongest. But guess what? I'm going to go and whip you upside the head. And when I retain this title, it's because I back up everything
Hey.
I can say. Everything I say, I back it up in the ring.
James.
Unlike you, Charlotte.
James.
Unlike you. She should be arrogant.
James, you got your
I don't know. I
You got-
just don't know, man.
All About Becky.
She
show
should be arrogant.
right
She's
here.
the champ. Like,
There you are. See?
I don't know. I just don't look at it as arrogance, though. Like, I look at it as being more confident than I do being arrogant. You know what I mean? It's like that confidence of, like, okay, I got this.
Well, here's the problem. You know, and I have with Mark. What Becky Stearns is as blatant as Mark Henry says.
It isn't.
The thing is
It's more of, like, little
okay,
hints
but who
of
cares?
arrogance.
The thing is if you're being arrogant, who cares? It's part of the character.
I know. And, like,
So who
when
cares?
Mark Henry, yeah, it's all good. So, like, when Mark Henry sits there and he's like, well, I don't like her character anymore because she's arrogant and she's not really fighting for the fans. I agree with that, where she isn't necessarily that underdog
that's-
character anymore.
That's why heel turn's coming.
She's not necessarily that, you know, arrogant. I don't know. It's just his comments were not very smart. Like,
So then we have
Shane, don't come for me. I know you went for James because he kind of said that, but like, you know what I mean? They just didn't come out the right way. Like, that's kind of what I mean.
Good check out.
Not like they were stupid comments, because like everybody's entitled to their own opinions, but when it's my opinion's always right. So, you know, everybody in the chat, just figure that out.
So then Drake loses his belt again to Truth, and you have down Truth kidnaps Renee.
Yeah,
I don't
mean,
think he
I
really
get that.
kidnapped her. She had a chance to get out of the car. She just kind of sat there, and Truth's like, "Go, go, go."
And then she screamed.
So I don't think it was a legitimate kidnapping.
It was so funny. Oh my gosh, guys. Well, now I'm like, ugh, blah, 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 blah. I don't have any more water.
Yeah, that's because you
And-
just talked like for 2 hours.
I'm sorry. It is
Okay.
almost 2 hours.
You talked for 30 minutes there,
Guys, this is like a really good show. We have a lot of good conversations.
or a lot of ranting.
A lot of me yelling at you guys.
Then we have Braun versus some jobber.
Kim-
For some,
Shane-
why did they do this to Braun?
I don't know, because I thought they were trying to build him up.
I
And then
mean,
they
I
had
don't
him face some
understand what they were
jobber.
doing here. What was the point of this match?
I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, Shane, I have one request. You should like make a template for a t-shirt that says Maven Rants. Because you just should. You made a Fruity Loop Mark shirt. Why can't you?
I want my baby back. I know.
Well, that's what he said at first. He was like, I want my baby back. And like I thought he was talking about his wife. And then Carmella walked up to him and was like,
Yeah.
fool, your wife was in that car. And then he goes,
Yeah. And my wife.
my wife! Like, it was so funny. He was like, he wasn't even thinking about his wife.
Yeah, that
He
Braun.
was like, whatever.
The Braun match was totally pointless. Don't get what the point was. I
I don't know,
mean,
there was no
other
point.
than him going, "Hey, look, I'm gonna destroy this guy in like 30
The
seconds."
crowd
or
was
whatever."
like, woo! And then it was like, he beat him up. He threw him across the room twice and then did his like running power slam and then it was like, done.
I feel sorry for the guy he was fighting because he was like throwing him like 47 miles in the air, and so. Then
Then we get the toast to end the show. Guys, I thought Stone Cold Toast was good. I felt like leading up to that, it was like really long. Like, you know
Yeah, I
what
mean, it was. Okay.
So Ric Flair comes out and his music plays and everybody comes out. Flair didn't even say anything. Then we had Hogan who comes out and he's like, you know what, brother? This is my family and I'm real glad to be here and blah, 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 blah. And then Stone Cold came out. But before that, there was like a 5-minute pause. Like a 5-minute.
He was hammered, definitely.
There was like a 5-minute pause where it was just his music playing, and then they had Stone Cold come out, and I was like, is that where we're ending the show here?
Yeah.
Because I had forgotten that Stone Cold was coming out. I know, how can I say that? Sorry, guys. But I did. And then his music hit, and I was like, oh, yeah, he's coming too.
Yeah.
Got it. And so then he came out, and he did his whole beer thing where he's like, I noticed Mark didn't clap for Hogan. Stone Cold gets on the mic and he talks about how this is his family and, you know, his brother. It was along the same lines of a lot of what the rest have said. And then he did his thing and he was like, y'all come down to the ring and, you know, share a beer, and they did that thing, and then, where am I going with this? Oh, then he said, he was like, how much time we got left? They were like, oh, 1 minute and 56 seconds or whatever. And then they were like, oh yeah, I want to share this story real quick. Joe Briscoe, we were in whatever, and we did probably some illegal stuff that we shouldn't have been doing, but we did. And, yeah, it was, you know, good fun with this dude right here. And he was like, yeah, thanks everybody for, you know, coming and blah, 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 and this was great. Thank Long Island for that, James. Yeah. Tell me about it. Like, Long Island like, let's not go back to Long Island.
Yeah.
That'd be a good thing. Because it was pretty horrible. Like, they booed the women so bad, and it was not necessary. Like, not necessary.
Yeah.
It really wasn't. So. Wow, I can't believe.
Stone Cold was great. What other wrestler in the roster gets that reaction?
Nobody.
It's a hard time building stars.
This has been said. Batista even said this. He's like, there will never be another Stone Cold. There will be, or there will never be another. No, they really don't. Batista said this in an interview more recently. He was like, there will never be another Stone Cold. There will never be. No, I can't speak. There will never be another Rock. There will never be another Hulk Hogan.
Here's the thing. There will be...
Because, no. He means in the aspect that they will never be built up to be bigger than the WWE. That they won't let Becky get that way. They won't let Seth get that way. They won't let anybody.
Ronda's that way. And she's not even a wrestler. I understand she's more mainstream and does things like that, but she's bigger than...
He's talking about building stars within the company. If you're trying to build somebody as being a big star, they're not going to let them get to Rock or Austin fame, where they are so much bigger than WWE.
Then you have a problem.
Because he said he just
Which
doesn't
is why
feel
WWE,
that they won't.
if WWE is going to do that, then they're going to have some major issues.
They won't build a bigger star than their own company. They won't let that happen again because they did it. They had it happen several times, and he was like, I just don't see them doing that again. There won't be another John Cena. There will not. There won't be. There just won't be.
Because again,
there won't be anybody who is bigger than the
they may not
company.
be, but if they don't let it happen, WWE
that's
will
gonna
not
be
grow.
The issue.
They will not grow.
If they don't let it happen, that's what he was essentially talking about. Was like he just doesn't see that WWE is going to let it happen
Well, they
again.
might not as long as Vince is in charge.
So until Vince
is going to die someday.
Well, if we're looking at those face app,
too hard to fill the void when they leave. Well, the problem is they haven't tried to build anybody else. If you look at history, they've kind of built someone up and had someone coming up to take the person that's left. Can you blame them? They wanted Becky? It's all about Becky, not Becky. That's their theory. Yeah, I think that you can build people up and have someone kind of in waiting.
With the stupid face app that's been out recently, has anybody seen those pictures of wrestlers that look like old?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be what Vince is. if you just put a picture of Vince in the Face app and you do the old one, that's what he's going to look like. And he's going to be like 172 and still running WWE, and we're all going to be like, ugh.
Yeah, they tried with Roman. See, one of the issues you have is I think you have to have good mic skills, and I think you have to be a good wrestler. You have to, or at least be good in the ring.
This is where I think,
and
but he's the wrong guy. I agree. Yeah.
Definitely.
That's the thing where if you let Becky build up, she could be bigger than the company. She 100% could be. If you let, heck, even Charlotte. If you let Charlotte be built up a bunch, she will be bigger than the company.
Yeah.
You know, there are a couple that are big stars. And I don't know about Seth, if Seth could get bigger than the company. I just don't know. I don't know if he could.
And like Chaos said, maybe Heyman will help.
But there are several that I think could, if they let them, they could become bigger than the company.
Yeah.
They just could.
It's a matter of building them up and getting them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you don't build them up, it's not going to happen. No. So, I think not Seth.
Definitely not Seth.
I just don't think, I think his mic skills are good.
No, they're okay.
Like, compared to other people on the roster, I think they're good. Like other people in the men's
problem
division,
is
they're
they
good.
don't turn some of their people loose. I think it's a big issue.
But...
And maybe that's going to change.
I hope so. But... they're not the best mic skills.
No.
If you had to say who has the best mic skills in WWE right now, who would you say that is?
I know the Street Profits are new, but I think they do a good job on the mic.
I agree with that. Becky?
Thanks, James.
I don't know.
Owens.
Ooh,
Owens does a good job, yeah.
For recently, Owens
Definitely.
he's good. Recently, with his the last 2 weeks has been good. If I was to look at this for the last several months, I would probably say Becky has the best mic skills right now. Like, she beats out Charlotte. I'm sorry, she just does. Charlotte's promos sometimes, they're just very they're like good promos. But, they just kind of, fall flat. It's, the tone that she uses and stuff, and I understand it goes with her character, but sometimes it's, I don't know, it's just hard. I feel like
Alexa
she's
does
best.
a good job, I agree with that.
I feel like she's the best in ring-wise. She is the best that they have right now.
Yeah.
But, promo-wise, I think Becky beats her out.
Roman and Seth do not have that person. No, definitely not.
Mm-mm.
Overscript someone is just not good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely, I agree.
Maven Ransom. Sure. Sure. That's fine. We got those Becky Kill Bill vibes.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's cool.
With that, now that we've survived Maven's rant for
2 hours, 7 minutes and 30. For those of you that have stuck around the whole 2 hours, 7 minutes and 35 seconds, we appreciate it, man.
We
appreciate it.
Tomorrow, we'll see what's going to happen tomorrow night on SmackDown. We will have our recap tomorrow night of SmackDown.
Okay, I gotta know, man. Real quick. I just have a question.
Okay.
I know. The question would be, so we talked about this. This is kind of for, future stream reference. We had a thought of doing, a watch-along situation for, pay-per-views and stuff. Now, I don't know if that would just work for pay-per-views or if we do weekly shows, too, instead.
I don't know. We'll see.
Get our reactions.
I suppose we could find
My
out
reactions are pretty good in the moment. I'm not going to lie. When Bray Wyatt came out, I was like...
Question, why didn't Yellow put Becky's poster behind you?
I would love to.
James?
Yes, do it.
James?
Oh, Shane's 100% behind it. So, doing our reactions while we are...
Yeah, we've talked about it for...
I think my reactions are pretty
long
nuts.
time. Problem is trying to get our camera in a good spot to where it would pick everything up.
will
because Maven's
jump
all
around.
over
Like,
the
there
house.
might be
I'd
a
have to have
split-
cameras in every room with certain matches because
Bro,
she's
I swear to
flipping
you,
out
after
about
Extreme
things.
Rules, dude, Becky and Seth, they retained their titles. I literally hopped up out of this chair that I'm sitting in. I ran across the couch 3 times, and I ran up the stairs to yell at you and was like, woohoo! Told ya!
We made something,
And then I ran back down here to sit back.
We've talked about doing it.
I almost missed Brock cashing in. That's how
Creepy.
that's how I was.
So, it's something we'll probably give a shot and see maybe a couple times just to see how people react and see if we get enough interest in doing it.
I think we talked about with the NXT TakeOver Cardiff and the AEW pay-per-view, we talked about doing a watch-along because they're like the same day, and we're like, I don't know, man. Getting reaction videos of both is just kind of difficult.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that show, I saw a rumor that there might possibly be Walter versus Robbie Brookside.
Yes.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
If you don't know who Robbie Brookside is, he's like one of the coaches.
Yeah.
And like, just wrestle and stuff. Okay. I would just assume that you probably didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. I love how you just agree with me.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you. So I was like, ooh, that could be a good match.
Yeah. With that, I think we're out of here. We will consider doing
Nope.
we'll consider doing a live show and like a watch along show.
I would love to. I feel like they'd be fun.
Yeah, it might be. We'll see. Well, yeah, but not on Takeover.
Yeah, that's what it was being like advertised for. Was like Takeover.
Yeah.
Or what I like not advertised for, but that was like a rumor I saw was going to be Walter's Takeover match. I think it should be Alexander Wolf.
All right. With that, we're out of here. Shane,
know.
thanks for stopping by. Have a good evening. James, thanks for stopping by. Elijah, Export. Scott was in here for a second. I don't know if he's stuck around. Chaos Theory.
For everybody that's stuck.
Did
For
I
everybody
miss?
that's stuck with us for the 2 hours, 10 minutes, and almost 11 minutes that we've been on here, truly do appreciate it. You guys have to sit through me ranting.
For those of you that did not speak up in chat, thanks for stopping by, checking out the show, watching. Hey, if you have questions, anything you want to talk about,
Walter versus Bate would be good.
talk
too.
in our chat. We'll answer your questions.
Maybe
We'll
you got lucky. No, my gosh, it was a show without Corbin too.
Yeah.
What?
We'll let you know.
Oh my gosh,
if
no
you've
shame,
never
no
talked,
Corbin. I'm sorry.
if you've never
That just
talked
blew
in
my
our
mind.
chat and you're in here, come into our chat, say something. We'll talk. We'll answer your questions. We'll get you involved in our
Totally.
chat and everything. With that, we are out of here.
Really great show tonight, guys. We'll be
Good
back
night,
tomorrow.
good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are at. Good morning. Oh, good night, good evening. It's kind of the same thing. Good morning, good afternoon.
Good night, good evening.
Do something for Becky. I'm going to tell her right now. I'm going to tell her good night, Becky. Peace out.
Peace out, guys.